to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, if you want to help keep the conversation on a particular track, feel free to ask your questions. I believe in no dumb questions. Feel free to ask whatever question is on your brain, and I will do my best to answer it. Of course, if you're watching this live, you can ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris@waveofthebrush.com. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites because I just won't do it. It's in the description, as well as a link to waveofthebrush.com. Central hub of all the silliness has the links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there 24/7. So feel free to ask your questions there if you, don't feel like sending me an email. And of course, if you don't really feel like sending an email or joining us on the Discord, but you're huge into the Instagrams, well, you can just use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush, because I do a little segment where we have a look at people, what they're posting on using the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush. And so you can submit your post there. You can ask a question, or you can just show off what you're working on. I like when people show off what they're working on. I like looking at pretty pictures. That's the only thing I use Instagram for is pretty pictures. That's it. Just pretty pictures. That's all. That's all it is. It's all it's worth. I'm lost in my spiel. Oh, also at waveofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts. As well as if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see links down below as well. T-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at waveofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge, huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue. And so a huge thank you to all of you who with your continued support, and some of you who've been on the fence. Check it out. The basic thing is there's varying tiers of support, various perks associated with those tiers. And the big one really being dice and early access. Early. Depends on how early. Lately, I've only been a couple days ahead. Usually, I like to be a few weeks ahead, but it's just been a challenge getting ahead, rising up, and getting ahead of the curve, as it were. So, yeah, Patreon. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e., money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and all that other engagement with the video and whatever platform you're on, it all helps as well. And a huge thank you. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. So a huge thank you for everybody who does that as well. And of course, big thank yous to Carl, aka Guymere, all for Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. You always take time. Thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for creating the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. Always much love to my baby bro. Just much love. If you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. Check it out. If you're into rare, like the really rare. Like, I've never even heard of that comic. That's how rare. I didn't even know this was a comic. Rare. Last I checked, he had a bunch of Archies. I don't know who's still reading Archie comics, but yeah. Kevin Cabal, hello, happening hobbyist. Happy Monkey Day. Happy Monkey Day indeed. Holy moly. Chat's kind of quiet right now. I guess it's kind of an early day. Of course, big reveal today. The show has already been titled. What the hell did we call the show again? Mystery Brush Theater 40,000. That's what we're calling the show today. And that's an old reference. For anybody who's old and gets that reference, bravo. Anybody who's younger, that probably doesn't get that reference or never watched the program. But anyway, yeah, because G-Dubs is doing a reveal of a new box. Oh, the Age of Sigmar box. That's right, the Age of Sigmar box. So they're showing everybody what's inside the box, what's in the box, and so should be a lot of fun. That should be starting in like 53 minutes. So stay tuned for that. I think we can probably preoccupy ourselves with some other stuff till that point. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just sit here and stare at the camera for like an hour. Or 57 minutes. Or 53 minutes. Maybe for 53 minutes I'll just stare at the camera. I could do it. Don't dare me. Don't dare me. I'll do it. Evan Belleau, what's up, everybody? I guess I slipped under the wire of the intro. I guess. I don't know. I am working on a new intro. What I'd really love is to have more from you guys. Basically, everybody in their shirts kind of stuff. And of course, I was also planning before this whole pandemic, getting some stuff when we were all together at like Adepticon and, you know, all these different cons, especially if everybody's, you know, in their shirts and, you know, because then that way I could just make like the whole intro just really about you guys. Because really this show is all about you guys. It's all about helping you guys. It's all about your input, your questions, everything. This channel, really. Because Way of the Brush, you know, was really the big, what I really kind of cemented with this channel. And then, of course, you know, change of jobs and everything. And so, you know, it's really just about you guys answering your questions. This is all the videos are about. All the tutorials. That's all tutorial is about. It's about helping you guys. That's it. Kevin Cabal, yay, I'm old. Wait, damn it. Ghost the Starman Deluxe. I'm late. Hi, monkeys. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, are you late? Really? Like, are you really late? Because, I mean, it's not like I take attendance. It's not like I'm sitting there going, okay, well, you know, where is everybody here? I don't know where everybody is. I don't know. You know, so it's not like that. It could be. I'll take attendance. Have to take everybody's, like, you know, who's going to show up, who's signing up for this show. And if you don't show up at the time I start the feed, repercussions. There will be repercussions. Ghost of Starman, super hyped for the new Lord Croak model, up for pre-order today, although I probably won't be picking it up for a while. I didn't know. Oh, see, I always have my G-Dubs page set to the Canadian, and the Canadian side doesn't get updated until, like, you know, later in the day. Where's UK? There it is. So let's see. Let's see what G-Dubs is offering for some pre-order stoof. Some stoof. Let me jump over to... let's jump with this one. No, I don't like that one. Let's jump to this one. That's even worse. We'll keep it at this one. Indecisions. So we got Kragnos. I don't know what Kragnos is. Is it just this dude? This dude's huge. He's a pretty cool looking model. He's different, you know. Usually when we get these big centaur type things, you know, it's kind of like the dragon thing, or, you know, his horns are like hair, but chaosy, spiky hair. It almost looks like anime type horns, you know. Oh, you can do different mouths. Somebody really clever out there can model and paint both those mouths, and you can animate that and make them talk. Or just take that picture and just animate the mouth open and closed and then have them talking. Go ahead, do it. Somebody who's really clever, do it. Clever. Only the clever people, though. If you're not clever, then don't do it. Just don't do it. For God's sakes, don't do it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool looking model. I dig the color scheme. I like the way they did this really oxidized bronze look. I don't even know if that's what they were really going for. It almost like a really brassy bronze, eh? Like you see like the chains like just heavily heavily, verdigris. And so I assume that theme carries throughout the rest of the figure. Because you see the shield just really green. I assume it's because it's heavily, heavily corroded. I would assume. But you know what they say about assuming? You make an ass out of you and me. Oh, who are these? Oh, these two. Ah. Interesting. Oh, man. Not bad. So, Lord Croak. Oh, yeah. Look at this guy. Oh, this is freaking cool. I'm going to make sure I'm still in frame here. Yeah, there we go. Good enough. Yeah. I dig this. Love the color. I like that little framing of the feathers around his head. Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool looking model. It's not a very cool looking price point, but what are you going to do? Yeah. I dig it. I dig it a lot. I don't even play Lizardmen. I don't even do Lizardmen. I like, the rings are all kind of floaty and, not. Yeah, I dig this piece. I think for me personally, I think the bandages could have been a different color. Like lighter or something. Or like you stay within that brown, but a little bit lighter. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can even do a different head. Oh, what's that about? It's like his casual wear and his evening wear, I guess. Is that what that is? We got the Talon of Slanesh. Oh, this guy. This guy's pretty cool. He's got like the little alien egg sacs on his thing. I don't know what the hell that is. What do you call that big detail that runs across? The branches are hanging on that, that arch that's around the head. Like what do you call that back piece? Is it the back? Is it the collar? What is it, people? Please tell me. Tell me. Yeah, I like the little wood bark thing on his legs. It's almost like armor, yet not. And the texture of the cloak is really cool. Like it looks like it's painted, but it also looks like it's got like sculpted elements to it too. But I think that's entirely painted. That texture that runs up the cloak. Yeah, that's pretty darn cool. I like this model. It's a cool looking model. I mean, it's Age of Sigmar. I know you guys have been listening to me harp on about this for for ages. Oh right, the tourney pack, the errata, the chapter approved. Damn it! I guess I have to buy this now. I haven't even used the previous one. That was fucking money down the tubes. It's got some books, some cards. Fun. I like this little Necron. Chronomancer. Excuse me. I like this dude. He's cool. Again, I like a lot of the stuff they did with the Necrons. I know I've been kind of poo-pooing on, the effort out of G-dubs on the 40k stuff, but when it comes to Necrons, I mean, I do obviously take that back because the Necron shit is pretty darn cool. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, so we're up to date on that then. We're all caught up on what the pre-order. Yeah, the Lord Croak, that thing's freaking cool, man. It's cool. Evan Belleau, Kris is going to debut his new Way of the Brush wooden ruler. Late joining monkeys will have it mailed to them so they can whack their own knuckles for the Monkey Lord. Yeah, everybody's self-flagging. Flagging? You know what I mean. Anyway, Ghost of Starman. The new Croak is massive compared to the old one by the looks of things. Yeah, it looks pretty darn big. I would assume it's way bigger than the old one. The old one, I mean, fuck it. I'm sure it makes this one look like a unit leader compared to this. Because just the presence alone. Like the old model is just that little thing he's sitting on, right? Whereas this new version, he's got these rings and dials and, these, I don't know what the hell it is. It always reminds me of like Dark Crystal, the Great Conjunction and, the big device that's in, oh God, what the hell's her name? What's her name? Dark Crystal, the old lady. Go. 2-9, go. What is it? Ghost of Starman. I'd be very interested to see you paint it. I'd be interested to see me paint it too. I ain't. I'm not exactly about to go out and buy one, especially for 74 British pound, which basically like roughly exchanging it to Canadian dollars, you basically just double essentially British pound to Canadian. It's roughly. So just double 74 British pounds, and that's what it's going to cost me in Canadian. And, Canuck bucks just don't go quite as far as you might think they go. in good old Canuckistan. I shouldn't make that joke because there's so many people here right now because of this whole anti-mask shit going on that act like, yeah, we're some sort of communist country, and yeah, it's like fucking crazy. Motherfuckers are crazy. Evan Belleau, it is haute couture. Oh fuck, he's making a joke. I was taking it seriously for a second. I don't know what haute is. Haute? What's? Oh fuck, I'll just. Come on, you can't make the jokes too highbrow. You can't go too highbrow, bud. Just can't. For high sewing, high dressmaking. That's what it means? Good God. It's just high fashion. It's just high fashion. I hear you. It's just high fashion. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. What is that detail called though? Like, does that actually have a name? Because like a lot of the Lumineth, they have those big arches running across. Well, even like the one holding the chalice, she has like this similar kind of, it almost looks like an ox's yoke, and it's on her hips, which says all sorts of things if you really think about it. A yoke on a woman's hips, what that symbolizes. I'm just saying. Everybody's out there like, Kris, come on, man. It's a fucking miniature. It's not some sort of political statement against the patriarchy or, fuck. Preston Hamilton. Some kind of floating gold thingy. Yep, that's a great name. Might as well just call it that. Give me a shorter version of that acronym and yeah, we're in business. It's some sort of floating gold thingy. But it doesn't necessarily have to be gold. I don't know. I just don't know. You know what? Since you guys are so darn quiet today, we might be a short show today. Yeah, you know what? Let's head over to the Instagram side of things. I don't have an Instagram theme song, so dun, 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 Instagram. Okay, where we're at. Oh, jeez. Alrighty. This one is from our buddy Evan Belleau. Let's give that a like. We're giving it a like even before we get into it. I should hold my likes till the end. I like it. It's a little darker than usually what we see from Evan. But I like the painting. He's got the edge highlights going on. Attention to detail. even picking out them rivets. I like the base. I like the texture. Interesting choice to offset the model on his base rather than, because usually whenever we're talking about fixing a model to a base, usually we are kind of like center of gravity kind of thing, right? And it's interesting when, you know, you get a model that's off center from its base. Nothing wrong with it. Just interesting. It's just you don't see it all that often. Yeah, nice and clean. Like, overall. You know. Did you spray these with a gold spray and then kind of like whack them with Agrax and then do a little dry brushing? Is that what you did? Like with the muddy base, like the feeling of the muddy base, it works really well with more of a dirtier looking gold, almost bronze. Yeah, it almost has like a bronze feeling. Oh. Yeah. I dig it though. Avi Dominus? Every time I say it, I always think of Life of Brian. And when he's putting the graffiti on the wall, the Centurion stops him. Oh, Jesus. This one is from our good buddy Disco Duke, or Disco Mini Painter. Used to be Disco Duke. Now it's Disco Mini Painter. Because he's not a Duke anymore. He demoted himself. I like the cross hatching on the cloth. I like the color. Oh, yeah. And you added that cloth texture over the shoulder. The little spiky bits there. Yeah, I like the cross hatching on the cloth. I think in the future, to help with like color, like you've kind of got it going on with the arm, the sleeve, and that fold coming down almost. Whereas if you went with, say, after you're doing your shade wash, I wouldn't let it pool as heavily as like some areas here. But use some of that base tone, add a bit of your highlight tone, and then do the cross hatching, and then take whatever tone you're going to go brightest with, and just go over, you know, wherever you're selecting your high points being. So the top of folds, or at the bottom of the cloak, or, you know, whatever way you want to do it. But like how you did it on the sleeve, that is really good, because that looks like two tones. Like you went over it with one tone, and then you created that sharp definition on that high point with a brighter color. Yeah, at least that's the way it looks. Could be the same color, just going over twice, which makes it a little bit brighter, which also could be the case. But I don't know. I don't know what your painting process is. It's a fun piece, though. It is ghostly. Yeah. I remember the cloth bits. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Cool. Already gave it a thumbs up. Thumbs up. The Wannabe Painter. My finished Iron Warriors Raptor champion. I'm going to weather this guy. This guy's a bit heavier like the rest of the army, because they are close combat fighters and take more damage than their ranged buddies. All in all, I'm fine with the result, and now onto the rest of the unit. Very cool. On his Power Fist hand, it almost looks like dried blood or something. It's an interesting look. It is definitely in that vein of like the grimdark vibe. I would be cautious of the mold lines. I know I'm always harping on the mold lines, but you know, they are like the first thing the eye that can take the person out of the viewing. And especially when, you know, you want to, you know, when you aspire to become better, more efficient, you know. Should always take care of those mold lines. Looks really good though. I like the way you did the eye. Looks like it's just like a gloss layer with some dark color. It's very, very cool. It looks like he put like a little chevrons on his hand too. Oh, that's the last one. Yeah. No, I dig it. I like it. I'm a little bit curious how you got that slight texture in some places of the armor, like on the back here. Between the thrusters. There's like, it's kind of pockmarked, and it looks like I could see it like on the ankle and up on his hip. I'm just a little bit curious as to what you did to get that texture, that small texture. Was it something intentional or was it something unintentional? No, because I can see it on the chest there too, and on the knee. Wannabe painter, I need answers. I need answers. I need answers. Paint Minis 1990. Finished Gandalf foot and mounted. And so here's Gandalf. I dig it. Colors look like right out of the movie. It looks like the base is finished, and you know, it looks like the steps of Rohan. Do they call it the steps of Rohan? I don't even know. Or maybe I do, and I just said it subconsciously. But either way, it's really nice work on the highlighting. Oh, the unfoot version looks really good. Yeah, I like the base for him. I like how you got him kind of elevated from the base and everything. Very scenic. Were you going for a bit of a non-metallic metal vibe on the sword? Is that what I'm seeing there? I see like those little striation lines running across the surface. I like a little bit of weathering too on the bottom of his cloak. I like that. Yeah, were you going for a bit of a non-metallic metal? Is that? Yeah, I think that's what you were going for there. Or you're just going for like that kind of slight color variation with the streaks, right? The hard contrasty streaks going across. I got you. Yeah. Very, very cool. Me like. This one is from Leonard Aaron 95. More finished pieces. Let's give that a like. Some more goobelins. Oh, right, these big goobelin thingies. Now, these are pretty big. These are big goobelins. Yeah, because these have to be pretty big. Because I mean that your pedestal for turning your models. If it's the same one I have, which is the Tamiya one, it's a fairly big diameter, and so these sculpts have to be pretty darn big. Yeah, that looks like a big guy. Is this one done, Leonard? Is this one done, or is this work in progress? There's no base. Because I kind of like the overall glowiness. He's kind of got like that Balrog kind of vibe going on. Yeah, but it doesn't feel, at least from this, it doesn't feel like it's 100% complete. But I don't know. Could be lighting too. These guys are really cool though. I like these guys. I like the colors too. You just got that nice bright green on them. It's really fun. Yeah. Very, very cool. Well, thank you, Leonard, for sharing that. Yeah, Leonard, I'm just kind of curious about this fella. Is he complete? Or he's still kind of work in progress? I'm kind of curious. Oh, look at this. From Demonto. Or is it Demon Tho? I'll just say Demon Tho. Let's give that a like. Some gen stealers for stealing of your genes. or as they say in some other places, pantaloons. Oi, shitbags. That scared the shit out of me. Was it Grego Blandak? Fuck it, totally butchered that. Grego Blendart. Fuck, I had to pull up the thing on my screen. Thank you, Grego. Grego? Is that right? Grego? Grego. Yeah. Thank you, Grego. That scared the crap out of me. I was admiring the gen stealers for stealing of gens. Very effective. I'd caution. Take care of those bold lines. Especially if, you're primarily dry brushing, because dry brushing will just bring those bold lines right forward. Now, mind you, if you are, primarily concerned with, gaming and, you're not too concerned about your painting, then of course, carry on. Rippers. Are there spikes silver? And the forehead bit silver? Is that a metallic paint there? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's a silver. Very interesting choice of silver in that space. On that forehead crest thing, the thing that runs from their kind of middle of their eyebrows to their upper forehead. Yeah. Yeah, because in this color scheme with the purple flesh, that little crest bit on the forehead, isn't that typically like a blue, or is that like a purple? Either way. Yeah. I digs it. Oh, that's it? Oh. And we already saw that one from Disco. Yeah, Disco. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one was really good. From Fergie Ferg. Fergie Ferg? It almost sounds like Swedish Chef. Fergie Ferg. It sounds like something Swedish Chef would say. Fergie Ferg. I don't mean to make fun of the name. I'm just saying. The Fergie Ferg. Or who's the do? Did the Fergie Ferg? Where the hell am I? Evan Belleau, floating in glorious gold ornate thing. Wait, that makes a terrible acronym. I denounce and reject myself. My LGBTQ plus friends will never allow me to have brunch with them ever again. Evan Belleau, for the record, I blame Kids in the Hall. Yeah, Kids in the Hall. I just saw it yesterday, that apparently Kids in the Hall, they're doing, I don't know how many episodes on Amazon. Amazon's picked them up, and they're, I guess, gonna do some brand new skits, which I'm actually very excited for. Because Kids in the Hall, back in the day, it was just too damn funny. Just too damn funny. And if you never watched Kids in the Hall way back in the day, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what to tell you, because, it basically, saying that kind of thing to me would basically make me question all of your life decisions, up to and including wanting to talk with me. Ghost of Starman. Darn, during the Instagram segment, Kris can't do the hand motion with the subscriber pop-up. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, somebody else subscribe real fast here, and I'll do the motion. Come on. Subscribe. Just sit here waiting. No, nothing. Waiting for subscribers. I almost started singing that, sitting on the dock of the bay. Oh shit. All right. Are we just kind of just basically chilling out until we get some action on the side of what's in the box. What's in the Age of Sigmar box? I know everybody is super curious as to what's in the box. I'm curious. I thought they already announced what there was, though, didn't they? In one of the reveals, didn't they announce what was in the box? It was like the new Stormcast and Ghost Duders. Isn't that what they were doing? No? Maybe? Yes? No? I don't know. Is it going to be... here's the question. Is it going to be like the Indominus box? Where it's just like the rule set, some auxiliary type stuff, and then just sprues and sprues of models? That would actually be pretty cool, because there'd be a good starting off point for a lot of people who, are looking... Because typically whenever you get these box games, right? Usually they come with like one faction, another faction give you a little bit of sprinkle terrain, you know what I mean? And you can, make a gaming surface out of it and play a game, right? It's usually kind of like in that vein of, this is a starter box, and you can, right out of the box, you have everything you need to have a game, right? It comes with dice, the rulers, the rule book, and you know what I mean? All the stuff's there, right? Usually. And with Indominus, because Indominus never came with terrain. Or did it? No, I don't remember any terrain in it. It was just boxes and boxes. It wasn't boxes and boxes. It was just boxes with Games Workshop and their Inception hang up. No. It was sprue and sprues and sprues and sprues, right? It was just jam-packed with sprues, which at the time was a really great deal. What probably still is a really great deal. For a lot of the Necron stuff. But I think everything that was in that box has come out, right? Like it's all come out. There's nothing that's in those boxes that, a regular person can't get now, right? I don't know. I mean, that was what, a year ago? Or was that 2 years ago? Holy shit, was it 2 years? No. Wait. I have no idea. I don't know. Either way, in like 21 minutes, we're going to find out. We're going to find out what's in the box. Ghost of Starman. NGL. I forgot the Age of Sigmar reveal was today. Yeah. They gave us a teaser during the big preview, but not the entire contents. Oh, did they? Okay. Yeah, because I remember we saw the new Stormcast Eternal, which looked a little slender in the hips and had like extra armor, or was it less armor? I don't know. Either way, it didn't seem quite as big and bulky as the regular. Now I don't know if those are a new kind of Stormcast or if that is the Stormcast. I don't know, but I mean, I guess we'll find out. I guess. I don't know. Mike Grimshaw. I'm only going to get excited if it contains the severed head of Gwyneth Paltrow. Jeez. It's a little dark. It's kind of dark, bud. That's kind of dark. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of dark. It's kind of grim. It's kind of dark. I wonder, though, if you could get, if they ever had, a casting of Gwyneth Paltrow, because I'm sure it exists somewhere. Somebody at some point had to apply makeup to Gwyneth Paltrow's face for some scene, and they made a cast of her head. Could you make a cast of her head and then, put that in a box so you could recreate Seven for all those people cosplaying Seven out there? Oh, my God. Is there anybody out there cosplaying Seven? For God's sakes, I hope not. That's fucking grim. That's grim, man. That's grim. It goes to Starman. NGL is not gonna lie. Oh, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Okay, see? I learn something new every day. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. In case you're not aware. I'm not aware. I wasn't aware. No, I was not. NGL. That literally was the first time, I'm not going to lie, that I saw that. The NGL. Not gonna lie. Oh, you kids in your internet terms. Mike Grimshaw. Wasn't that what was in the box in 7? Yeah. Yeah. It was Gwen. It should have been Gwen. Yeah. Like, we never see it. You see a little tuft of hair, but you never see actually like her face or the actual head. You're just, because really, realistically, I mean, do you really need to see it was if it was Gwyneth Paltrow's head? It was pretty obvious because, I mean, John Doe says, he put her head in the box and he planned the whole thing and he was the mastermind of the whole thing. Spoilers. If you haven't seen 7 by this point, again, I don't know. You know what? I'm honestly starting to think that a lot of us can't be friends. I'm just starting to think that now. I'm seriously starting to think that. If you have not seen 7, stop this stream. If you're watching this after the fact, pause. Go watch 7. Then come back. Restart the stream. Go watch 7. Excellent movie. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey. Pre-exiled Kevin Spacey. Apparently that cat's coming back, eh? Apparently he's got a movie coming out. Some like movie from like Europe, like an Italian flick or something like that. Yeah. Oh man. Well, what's that say? How's that saying go? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Well, I mean, he wasn't, or was he? Was he actually convicted of anything, or was he just blackballed just on allegations? I can't remember. Anyway. Ghost of Starman. I haven't seen 7, but I think everyone knows about the box at this point. Yeah, cool, because it's become a meme, right? What's in the box? It's a meme now. But famously, yeah, it's Brad Pitt. What's in the box? What's in the box? And he's freaking right out. And then, of course, as soon as he sees, his wife's head in there, he loses his shit, right? Oh, spoiler. Ghost of Starman hasn't. If you've not watched 7, good God, man, watch 7. Watch it. It's an excellent flick. It's a great movie on many standards. Artistic and story and effects and drama, suspense, creating an atmosphere. It's creating a world. So many things, so many positive things can be said about it. Yeah, there's some negatives. Sure. But it's a well thought out flick, and it's beautifully shot. It's just all round an excellent film. If I was super, super into making movies, yeah, I would be studying every aspect of Fincher. Definitely. Ghost of Starman. The real plot twist is that Brad was in the box all. It reminds me of an old Looney Tunes episode where with Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn Leghorn was one of my favorite Looney Tunes characters, even though he's a big loudmouth and everything like that, right? But anyway, there's one particular episode where he's supposed to be taking care of a hen's chick, the little chick, right? But he's got the little Poindexter glasses. He's like really intelligent and everything like that. And they're playing hide and go seek. He jumps into this little container, and he's hiding. It's like in a barn, right? So it's a farmyard setting, right? So he's in a barn, and it's one of those side things. I think it's like for holding like dirt and odds and ends, right? And so he jumps inside of it, and he closes the lid, and he thinks he's being clever, and the little kid is looking for him, and then the little kid whips out a pad of paper, and he starts scribbling down some equations and stuff like that, and then he goes and he walks a few feet out into the yard, he grabs a shovel, and then marks the point, and then starts digging, and then all of a sudden out pops Foghorn Leghorn out of the hole, out of the ground, and he's like, what, and then the little kid shows him the equations, and he's like, and he crumbles it up, throws it away, and he goes over to the box, and he's about to open it, and then he stops, and he goes, no, I better not. I just might be in there. And, you know, it goes to the next scene. That one always cracks me up. The Foghorn Leghorns will always crack me up. They're funny. Yes, I know all about the fucking racism in the old Looney Tunes cartoons, but they're still funny. But anyway, yeah. Ghost of Starman. It's a commentary on how Brad Pitt is trapped in the movie industry, symbolized by the box. Oh, deep. That's deep. That's deep, man. That's deep. Yeah, you just add another layer. You just added a layer onto that movie. When you're watching a movie, especially, you know, high concept art kind of pieces, which good movies are, you know, we're supposed to be peeling away layers, and yet Ghost, even though he had not seen the movie, found another layer. Brilliant. That's brilliant. TH, what is all this 7 stuff? Do I need to watch the 6 prequels? Ghost of Starman. If you talk out your ass enough, people will believe you. Yeah, true. That's very true. Very, very true. Yeah. Just talk right out your ass, which is most of the time how I operate. I operate on that MO all the time. You know, just talk. Just keep talking. Blah, 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 blah. Eventually, you'll say something that kind of makes sense. There's a fucking fly in my office. Shoo fly. Don't bother me. I'll get him. Either that or I'll end up trashing my office. You see lights falling and models and boxes and paint. You know. I'll have just an animation of a big mushroom cloud. You know. Anyway. Evan Belleau. 7 is pretty darn epic. The DVD copy I had back in the day had an extra feature that spotlighted the creation of the journals. Oh, really? That'd be interesting. Like, I'm kind of curious. I mean, because usually, you know, like when, you know, you're doing these kinds of things for movies and stuff like that, sometimes they just get, you know, like the crew to just write sentences and, you know, that. And so that when they open it up on camera, you know, at least it looks like something that was legible and, you know, looked like sentence structures were in there, right? That's kind of interesting. No, I'd not see that. Or maybe I have. Because I have it on Blu-ray. Never mind your DVD copy. DVD. What is this, 1990? Anyway. Yeah, on the Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure I've watched all the special features. Because for a lot of movies, like when I'm, you know, really into them and stuff like that, yeah, I watch a lot of special features and stuff, you know, because I'm curious about how they did a particular scene, how that was this or that was shot, and, you know, I find that stuff really interesting in movies and such. So yeah. Enforcer, there he is. Starman just added another box to that box on the box office film. That was hard to say. In fact, James, say that 10 times fast. Say that 10 times fast. I bet you can't do it. And if you do, record yourself saying it and then send it to me. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. It's like a cross between Inception and the shipping industry. A box inside a box inside a box. Now, you ruin it, man. Ghost, you should just shut the fuck up right from that point forward. You made an excellent point, and then you fucking ruined it by trying to be funny. Now he's sitting there, oh, I ruined it. Oh, shit. Aaron Siege, there he is. Can never go wrong with the Coyote and Roadrunner. Just saying, I watch the shit whenever I happen to come across it. Yeah, exactly. Same here. I mean, man, I mean, I even seen some. Like, I remember Looney Tunes, watching it as a kid, you know, and there was a whole bunch of stuff. I remember some episodes being much longer than they were, and then I'd catch them, you know, like in my high school years, and I can remember, oh, they dropped out a part. There was some editing, and then I tried to watch some classic stuff recently, like in the last couple of years. That's recent, and the episode was way shorter, and even more was chopped out of it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, they're just chopping, like Looney Tunes is racist. And, you know, some of it, yes, is negative, but some of it is, like, it is racist, but I don't think racism can be described in any positive type terms, so I can't say that, you know, it's good. I'm sure it's probably all negative regardless, but, you know, there was some funny shit there. There's some stuff terribly offensive, of course, you know, Bugs Bunny and blackface, you know. That's the first one that jumps to mind, saying, you know. Yeah, we could do without that one. Yeah. Anyway. And then they want to bring back Space Jam. Well, I mean, bring back all the racist stuff too. In fact, you know what? Like, realistically, we should get like a Blazing Saddles Looney Tunes type of show with all the racist stuff intact. God damn it. Dark Commission. Hi, Kris and all. Hi, Dark Commission. Enforcer. No. Oh. You're not going to do it? Why not? I thought we were buds. Let me down. Let me down, man. I'm all bummed out. I was excited for this reveal. Now I don't even want to do it now. That's Ghost of Starman. Was the operation a failure if it was funny? I would argue it wasn't. If it was funny, right. If it was, that's the question. Was it funny? Debatable. Aaron, you want racist Looney Tunes? Look on YouTube and see if you can find the old cartoons from World War II. Yeah. Oh yeah, the World War. Yeah. Well, man, there's one. It's you know, it's Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam, and Yosemite Sam is in a Confederate uniform, and Bugs Bunny's in blackface. Yeah. Evan Belleau, the designer, talked about how they used an old Polaroid land camera to do the photography. They had to go on a search for film for it in old New York photography shops. Oh, really? Interesting. Enforcer. Blazing Tunes starring blackface Yosemite Sam. Or Yoshimite. Yoshimite Sam? Yoshimite. That sounds like some sort of amalgamation of Yosemite Sam and Yoshi. Little dragon with a big mustache, big red mustache. Brandishing pistols. I'd watch that. I'd watch the hell out of that. Ghost Star Red Deluxe. Apparently Warner Brothers put a disclaimer on their more racist stuff that basically says this is not acceptable, but it's better to learn from the past than pretend it didn't happen. Very, very true. Very, very true. Right? Because you have to accept all your mistakes, right? We talk about this all the time. You know, it's accepting and loving your mistakes. Yes, they're mistakes. And as long as you try to make up for them, then, you know, then forgiveness can happen, right? But when you try to sweep shit under the rug is when, you know, problems occur, because you're not being truthful to yourself and you're not, you know, making amends with the other side, right? And this is not just racism. This goes, you know, in many ways. Did that just flicker? Or was that me? Am I flickering? Anyway, you know, so there has to be that kind of symbiosis there. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, the Bugs Bunny stuff is, I mean, all those cartoons from back in the day, even the old Disney stuff, you know, and yeah, some of the Disney, because like I have Disney Plus, and before some of the stuff there, when you look at like really old programs, yeah, they have disclaimers that, you know, this is, you know, when it was made, and, you know, blah blah blah, that, you know, that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, anyway. Where the hell am I? Ghost of Starman. I saw a joke about Blazing Saddles the other day, putting it in Not for the Week. Right. Now, Blazing Saddles is a brilliant film. And, you know, people make the the claim that that kind of movie couldn't be made today. I argue it could. It could still be made today. But would it be well received? I don't even know if Blazing Saddles was well received. Because even in the day, when it came out, yeah, people were up in arms about it, you know? Even though it is a brilliant film. It's hilarious. And it shines a light on the issues, you know? Because really, realistically, what is the underpinning of racism, right? Is it the words we use, or is it the intent behind the words, right? Enforcer. Well, Kris, I guess I'll have to talk to future me, Seth MacFarlane, and see if it's possible. Future you? Hold on. Wait. Seth MacFarlane's from the future? You're Seth MacFarlane? Ghost Star Man Deluxe. I watched Blazing Saddles with my parents. Pretty awkward. Why? Why would that be awkward? Why would it be awkward? It's a funny movie. And it was made at the right time, addressing poignant issues. Aaron Seach, History of the World Part 1 is also brilliant. Brilliant? What's brilliant? Brilliant racist and funny movie from Mel Brooks as well. Oh, History of the World. Yeah. I mean, Mel Brooks is, you know, he's pretty goddamn hilarious. But I think nowadays, I mean, he's just, you know, taking her easy. But, because he's old as balls. So, I mean, he was old as balls back in the day. He's still old as balls. Old balls. I'm just trying to see how many times I could say balls. Balls? Hey! These dickheads are already doing their preview. Calling them dickheads. It's Eddie and Adam.
Here, let's, the word that was very similar to what I was thinking. He said hefty. I believe it is a pretty sizable box
now,
in terms of
behind Adam there, is that his pile of shame, or is that a flex? Or do those things still have shrink wrap on them? Those boxes behind him. Because he's got like every box behind him. He's got all the boxes. He even has, it looks like first or second edition Talisman there. That's a flex. He's flexing. Adam's flexing. See, Eddie's a little bit more modest. Oh no, Eddie's got some trophies up there. Eddie's got trophies. Got some artwork. I don't know. These guys are talking. I don't know what they're talking about. But yeah. He said nugget. Anyway. Oh, you know what? I need the little window with my mug in it. Do I still have that set up here? Can I still do it? Fuck. Oh wait, maybe I can do it. No, I can't do it that. Could I do it this way? Nope, that ain't gonna work. What about... No, that's not gonna work. Damn it! I thought I had it set up so that I could have my picture in the frame. Because didn't we do that one time? One time when they were doing the giveaway thingy? I don't remember. Ghost of Starman. I think it's the second edition Talisman. That's the edition we have at home. Oh yeah, you think it's the second? Yeah, because I think it just the font and that silver text like that. Yeah, that looks like the second edition Talisman. Yeah, that's a flex. Adam's flexing there. He's saying, you know, I'm fucking all pro gamer, nerds. Word to your mother. Ghost. My uncle got it for my dad years and years ago, way before I was born, let alone when I got into G-dubs. Enforcer, Kris, gotta make yourself a part of the reveal. A part of the reveal? Like, apart from the reveal, or a part of the reveal? I mean, I can add a cam. Cam. No, let's go Let's see if we can do this live. Or maybe if I'll end up fucking this up. I don't know. Let's go here. Alright. Okay, add source. Yes. There we go. And we just... Oop. Nope, fuck that up. No, we're fucking that all up now. Oh. Never mind, we got animations. No, let's get Chris's mug off his face. Get his...
Remember.
There we go.
Remember why we fight.
Why?
Chaos.
Oh.
One. The dark gods.
He's got the codex covers on his walls.
Demons and blood-pledged warriors wrought ruin and left only ash and bone in their wake.
Nice.
The mortal realms, so hard won.
He said hard one.
In the face of such defeat, the armor of mortals could not hold. Pride. Greed.
Yeah, he's legit got all the cover art on in his office.
Tore apart the alliance the God King had built among the races. It is well then that we...
He's got one of those ceiling lights. He shows you like galaxies on the ceiling. It's like his nappy time.
In celestial storm.
Oh.
We are the chosen of Sigmar. We are hope manifest, and where we stand, there will be light in the darkness. No matter the cost.
Uh-oh. Damn, his shit got fucked up. It's like Thor 2 when they're coming out of the Bifrost. Oh. Damn. Took that like a champ. Damn, did he beam out?
Death is not the end. Our war is eternal. And so, we must remember. Remember why we fight.
Okay, well, he did a lot of talking there, but I don't remember him saying why they fight. Age of Sigmar. Sigmar? Sigmar.
We are back. We are still live, and that was the
Adam's still flexing.
Cinematic trailer for Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
This is how long I've been playing Talisman since 2nd edition. Flex. Let's make my mug here. Here we go. Preview. I'll put myself right in between them. I'll put myself over here. No, I better put myself over here. Yeah, over here's all right. Right there. There we go. I mean, to be a real dick, I could probably put myself over Eddie's picture, but... but I won't. I just won't. I won't do it. Just to be a real dick. Not a fake dick, but a real dick. Yeah, we're not watching the Twitch chat. Fuck that. Twitch chat's toxic. It's toxic, especially because all the children in there just don't stop talking about Curse City. I'm tired of hearing about Curse City. Tired of it. Tired. Sick of it. Fuck. Where am I? Ghost of Starman. Oh yeah, I remember you slapping yourself over the top of the presenters at one point. Yeah. Dr. Xantos, hello all. Hello, Dr. Xantos. What's poppin'? We're just watching the reveal. I mean, kind of, sort of. We're talking about art right now. We have not gotten to the box yet. And they got things started a little early because they were running even before 1 p.m. So they lied. G-Dubs lied. They lied. They lied to us. Ghost of Starman, no matter the cost. Is that a reference to how expensive the box game's going to be? Yeah. I'm going to play Age of Sigmar no matter the cost. That's music to G-Dub's ears. They're happy to hear that. So yeah, they're going to pay any price. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know. We're looking at artwork right now. That's art. Nice. I mean, it's pretty darn cool. Oh no, this is not artwork. This is clips from the cinematic they just showed. I think I like this better when we couldn't see what I was doing, because that way I could sit here and pick my nose off camera and everything. I mean, I suppose I could always just, pick my nose off camera and just go bloop. Oh, you don't see me. Bloop, back. Bloop, gone. Bloop, back. Oh, fucking technology is fun. It's fun. I don't know what these dickheads are talking about right now.
You have seen the guy on the right, that's an Annihilator, we know that, which is one of the new Paladin level Stormcast, so the heavy hitters. We saw in the trailer itself just how hard they hit. A few of those enemies went flying, didn't they? When they got out of the heli.
I mean, it just creates this great image, doesn't it? This fantastic...
Now, if you're going to have a big kind of, again, what is that called? Like that big arch behind the head. What is that bit called? If somebody was to have that on armor, what would that be called? Anyway, why not make that more combat effective? Like, why not have it more like a cage over your head, or something that kind of goes around your front, so that if you can, like, charge into somebody, you catch them on the blades, kind of thing, right? The orcs in this look a little different too. At least I think they're orcs, or are they goblins? I guess if I shut up, I'd probably hear them what they're talking about, right?
There's a few hints and nods. You're not far wrong on a few of those calls. We'll look at this faction in a little bit more detail very, very soon. Then this is the lord there, kind of coming out of the lightning itself. I love that bit in the trailer where the lightning hits. We've never seen Stormcast materialize out of the lightning before, have we?
Yeah, it's kind of Thor. That's what that reminded me of. It looked like Thor. When all the Asgardians are coming out of the Bifrost, and you see them, you have that beam of light. Well, here you see electricity and blah blah blah, right? But similar kind of vibe. I would assume that was. I'm going to assume that was the intent, but
Not by now, certainly in a little while. And in the background, as the city's burning, you can see...
Ghost Starman. Now I think that it's probably a reference to how much I spend on plastic crack this year. Oops.
Elves and humans and Dwad in there. All right, there's another
Enforcer. We shall pay the price no matter the cost. QGW spinning the wheel to make the price. Yeah. Yeah, these orcs are kind of different looking.
Interesting, the green skin, because most of the time, about the best thing you can do for range.
Or are they goblins?
Green skin player at the moment is, a grot with a short bow, which doesn't do a huge amount of damage. But this is definitely a crossbow that can punch through Stormcast armor, as we saw delivered very effectively in the trailer. So a very different angle there for the Forces of Destruction.
Not a good day to be wandering around without a shield, I think.
Yeah, these orcs look different. They don't look like the normal orcs.
The money shot, isn't it? So you've got
Money shot.
The Lord of the Forces of Destruction there on the back of some kind of massive beast. We can see that huge shield. There's a lot of stuff going on.
I find it funny when you do hear that term, when people use it in like other fields, like money shot. Like that's the money shot. Like isn't that from porn? The money shot? Isn't that what they call it? When he finally goes and that's the money shot. Or was that the term beforehand and porn appropriated it and I don't know. The etymology of language is just fun.
There we are. I think that was a well worthwhile little tour through the cinematic trailer for the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And as I said, you'll be able to watch it to your heart's content.
Yeah, I think somebody should send Eddie a note saying, Eddie, you need more boxes behind you. Everybody needs to know what's your pile of shame. Because basically, if you have the boxes behind you, either they're full of sprues still, and it's part of your pile of shame, or you have empty boxes behind you, which is a flex, right? So...
Well, I think I'd be curious to know what the people in the chat thought their favourite bit was.
Here, you know what? I'll put myself right in between. There we go.
That bit, or, I think we were talking about a little bit before which our favourite bits were. I particularly like, obviously I like it when the Forces of Destruction take down that Imperial, that Stormcast and knocking down a peg or two. That was obviously the best bit. But the particular moment I think that stood out for me is the bit where the Annihilator just punches his shield into one of those onrushing orcs, and he just kind of like caves in half under him. That's what a mortal wound looks like, I think.
Yeah, you're almost certainly right. I mean, for me, it's the...
Okay, I can do it down here. Kind of Brady Bunch style. Here, I'll just have just top of my head.
Or it's when he grasps the weapons and you see the lightning read his hands. Lots of people are saying things like, show us the models. We will, don't worry. But we'll do it in our own time.
Yeah.
I might reset the clock.
Oh.
Pretty cool if we had
That's a pretty goddamn looking big... That's a big box.
I couldn't agree more. Maybe we'll tell you all about it. I feel like the chat feel like we're teasing them, and that's definitely
we might be teasing a little. I mean, I think we're teasing in the coolest possible way with like an absolutely incredible trailer.
I was kind of hoping he was going to say, we're teasing, we're edging. You know, it's a little bit of foreplay. You know, we're dancing around the rim. You know, we're going to try out just the tip here in a sec.
says, I like the upcoming bit where you actually show models.
Well,
Why don't we?
Oh shit. Yeah. We got something else going here. I was about to read some comments here, but never mind. Some more Age of Sigmar animation. Oh, it's a preview. Oh, look at these guys. Oh. Oh, these guys are different. Oh, I like that one. I like that model. Yeah, so it looks like it's all figures. It's like Indominus. Cool.
I mean, it's an amazing looking box set, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree, guys.
I think probably not wrong to say one of the best Warhammer box sets of any description ever to come out of the Warhammer studio. An absolutely incredible box set of miniatures, I think. But either side it is spectacular.
The orcs are very different.
Diving into the Stormcasts in a bit more detail, but we will quickly come on to what I consider to be the better half. But I think Adam,
I like this figure.
The other opinion.
Yeah, I'm definitely all in on the Stormcast, and we've seen a few of these before when we did Warhammer Fest. So Indrasta, the Celestial Spear, will be familiar to you if you follow along on each of our previous shows. She is an incredible centerpiece model for a Stormcast Senate army, and has a really interesting backstory, right, Eddie?
Yes, she does. She is Sigmar's beast killer, basically. So he sends her off to try and find monsters and take them out. So we know a little bit about her already. She is basically a similar sort of level to something like the Celestia Prime, and kind of the interesting thing that she sets up as well is this idea that like Sigmar has several of these kind of champions who have slightly different roles within his forces, but she can put into any storm post. You can paint her whatever color you want. She is like a powerful kind of top tier level character in the mortal realms, and that's just really cool that such an awesome centerpiece kit comes in the launch box set for the game as well.
Now it's not just me, but the symbol of Sigmar, the comet thing, that's not a big spermie, right? I'm just saying.
This is the poster hero from the cinematic trailer, a Lord Imperator with his very own Griffhound, and you get the option of heads. I'm stoked for this guy. I love Stormcast.
I don't like that head, the metal head. I like the regular head.
Every one we've done so far, and I can't wait to have this guy.
Oh, look at his cloak! It's a big griffin.
Does he have an awesome cloak? Not only is he armed with the weapons that will befit the office that he holds, but he also has that fantastic sort of runic plate on his sort of shoulder, which holds his cloak down, and as you can see, it's got that same sort of Dwarden stylized image of Sigmar on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads to love about this miniature. It's just a beautiful character model. I think also comes with a Griffhound, and I think anybody who collects Stormcast almost without fail has a soft spot for Griffhounds.
Yeah, Griffhounds.
One of the most fun, I think.
Pretty darn cool.
Dangling hammer there on his collar, which I particularly like, and that kind of feather tail sticking out the back.
So I'm just going over these comments here. Enforcer. It would have been funny each time they cut away from Eddie's camera, more and more boxes piled up behind him until his camera had nothing but boxes. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not quite sure the backstory of that. It might be like a pack thing. Maybe it's like, he killed the biggest one and the rest of the
Enforcer, no matter the cost. Yeah.
was
Ghost and Kris will be joining us live from inside a pit. Inside a pit. Mike, are those hobble-gobbles? Hobble-gobble? I don't know. What are they? I don't know. Because, yeah, they don't look like regular orcs, right? So are they hobble-gobbles? I don't know. Dr. Santos got to say that I like the Stormcast so far. Yeah. Chemo Racenin? Nurgle rules. Nurgle does rule. I agree. I concur. Chemo? I'll say Chemo. Ghost of Starman, I think if your sperm has two tails, you may have a problem. Well, yes, but it's still two sperms. Your symbol of thing. Oh, look at this figure. I kind of like the masked version of this. Wouldn't that make a good Harlequin face?
Yeah, I'll take the unhelmeted one for mine, but I've got to admit that they're both great. I think the
Yeah.
is very sinister.
I kind of dig it.
You would expect from a Knight Arcanum, they are
The unhelmeted head, it looks like what's her face from Excalibur, the sorceress from Excalibur. If you ever watched that movie, if you haven't watched that movie, for God's sakes, I mean, we're probably losing all sorts of friends here. Yeah, the metalhead did look like a dwarf helmet. Yeah. Yeah, I'm digging this figure. This is pretty darn cool. She's got man hands, but that's okay. Women with man hands is all right in my books because, I don't think I need to really explain that one any further, really. I like this figure. I like his helmet. I like how the Sigmar spermies go off from his forehead like that. I like that. That looks cool. It looks like almost like antlers. What is it? The ibex? I think it's that. It's like a goat, Anyway. I'm going to assume that the relief on the banner, that's sculpted.
Armies look super rad, and this guy has a super bomb diggity banner. I can't wait.
Wait, what was that word he said?
In the lore, this banner of Apotheosis actually contains a tiny fragment of the anvil of Apotheosis itself, and that's where your kind of Sigmarite, which is the mined from the metal of the destroyed.
Now, at the top of his flagstaff, it has a helmeted head of a Sigmar dude. Would you want the helmet head of your own side on top of a banner?
I just love the pose on this guy, though. He just looks like he's like nobody's taken that banner off him, are they? Recently.
No, it's fantastic, isn't it? If I dip into my notes, it says the banner itself features Grungni's depiction of Sigmar on its front side, while the reverse features depictions of Grungni's tools and anvil on the reverse. Combined icon of the unified efforts that work together to create the Stormcast Eternals and the Thunderstrike armor. Sign me up.
Thunderstrike.
What's next?
Oh, these dudes.
Okay, so
Look at these guys.
My favourite unit of Stormcast Eternals to date, and I've got one of everything. These are the Stormcast Eternals Praetors. They are a retinue that act as the bodyguards for Stormcast Eternal heroes, and they don't just connect with them as in like defend them like any bodyguard would, but they connect with their ward on an arcane spiritual level. So as they fight alongside their
I like
masters,
these.
They become more like them in sort of mannerism, if not in actual form. And as you can see here, you've got 3 in the set, each one in an incredibly cool pose.
Yeah.
I'm hype for these guys.
I think any one of these is like as nice as some of the kind of older hero models for Warhammer. Like each one is just an absolutely beautiful kit. I can imagine these being one of those ones that are picked out by painters particularly because you've got that lovely rich kind of cloak. You've got an opportunity to do some really interesting painting and freehand and stuff with that. You've got the really cool sculptured armor. But what I quite like about the new Stormcast style on a lot of these is you've got a lot of open plates, so if you really want to show off painting, you absolutely can. You can put all sorts of patterns.
Big difference being a lot is the that hip armor,
very cool,
like you see like on their hips. That I don't know what a big plate on hanging from your hip is called, but Yeah, and they seem to be really kind of laying into that hip armor. These guys are cool.
Boys, the Stormcast Eternal Annihilators.
Annihilators.
Just
They look
the most
huge.
Imposing silhouette going, aren't they? Really.
They look absolutely amazing. I mean, I think the paladins for the Stormcast, all of the paladins, like your retributors and stuff, already look like they could wade through a wall, don't they? But these guys have like stepped it up a notch. Like the size of these guys, the shoulder pads, the kind of intimidating presence of them. I mean, look at how thick the legs on these guys are.
They're thick, all right.
Nothing is going to stop them, and that's very much how they play as well. Like this is the paladin unit that just takes a beatings. They've got incredibly good saves, and when they land and when they hit, they
The little cracks in the symbol, I think those are sculpted in, eh?
You could see that in the trailer.
For that lightning effect?
Slam into the
He folds the
Some of them just
Borderok over, doesn't he?
walk through the enemy battle line. So these are a really, really fun unit, both in terms of like the miniature itself, but also in terms of how they play. I love that the shield design there has got that kind of rune embedded into the center of the shield. What I like about the rest of it is it almost looks like untreated meteoric iron, doesn't it? You've got the kind of bolts of lightning crackling through the kind of it looks almost like raw star metal. You can imagine just getting like an absolute lump of metal and being like, "Ow,
The fuck is star metal?"
Getting through that and just putting it in the middle of a shield, and then it's going to smash anything it hits, but also it's going to...
Yeah, these guys are really cool looking.
Yeah, the Annihilator Prime looks particularly savage as well, doesn't he? He's just incredible.
The lion black breastplate on that guy looks amazing. Such a kind of thematic and cool model. The other two on either side look great, but the Prime, particularly cool breastplate on him and knee pads. I love the little Prime detail.
I like these guys. These guys are cool.
Unit leaders for
They're so
the
good.
lions and kind of eagles and various other kind of mythical creatures.
Vindicators.
We've gone over, but I wanted to give a shout out. Their weapons are called meteoric hammers, and I'm like, it conjures the right image, doesn't it? As these guys just absolutely pulverize people. So now on the screen, Stormcast Eternals Vindictors. I've been
Vindictors.
saying their name right, which might seem like an easy name when you think about Vindictor, but for me it's been a challenge. So there are 10 in total. You have 5 on this shot, and then the next shot you're going to see the other 5. And these are the battle line unit for the Stormcast Eternals. They are armed with, he says, scrolling through his notes as fast as he can, they are armed with Thunderstrike armor. They're carrying massive shields, and they've got storm spears. And you can think of these as the
Storm spears. Everything's got storm in it, right?
Bulwark, which you will use to dominate the battlefield and poke massive holes in the enemy and just get it done. I'm a huge fan of battle line units. I've got so many Liberators painted, it's really quite ridiculous, and I'm going to add these guys straight into it.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Things worth saying about this kit is you get a mix of male and female bodies in there as well, which is really cool. So I think both of them look incredibly intimidating and cool, but you've got a few different kind of body shapes mixed in amongst the unit, which gives you a bit more variety in there as well. And
yeah, that's cool.
Got a great choice of heads in the box as well. So if you want to have every single one of your Stormcasts with their helmet on, you absolutely can. If you want to make them up with a few helmets off to mix in amongst them, you can as well. And there's a great variety of different heads in the unhelmeted versions as well. So the idea with the Stormcast, all of the different Storm hosts, is that they're pulled from warriors from all across the Mortal Realms. So you've got people from like savage tribes, you've got people who used to be like knights protecting cities, you've got people who used to be kind of warrior nomads, you've got people from every corner and every realm, all kind of mixed together and reforged and kind of bonded in the brotherhood of Stormcast Eternals, but still with that kind of legacy of their warrior past. So if you want to kind of hint at some of that, you absolutely can. Or if you just want to put all their helmets on, paint them gold, and get them on the table real quick, they're going to look super cool too, so you can do that.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said, are there heads for the female models in there? They absolutely are. There's a helmeted and an unhelmeted head, I believe, for each of the models in that unit, which is quite exciting.
That's pretty darn cool.
I mean, we could stop here, and the chat wouldn't at all lynch us for not showing.
Dr. Santos.
Right?
Chris got sickness for the thickness. Always.
Well, why don't we progress over?
Oh. You got cut off. Oh, we got something else going now. More preview.
Entry number 41. I've had a breakthrough.
Looks like my office.
Beasts made it past the guard, and many were taken. A tragedy, but a fortunate one.
Gold sperm.
A knife left behind.
A knife.
Thinner this time, not at all like the ones in the books. Designed to pierce armor, perhaps, but of what? Not the usual Auric approach either. Barely even shouted. Diversions, far more cunning than before.
Oh, he's got a squig on his desk.
Something is brewing in the swamp side. I'm sure of it. And as, if my theories are correct, then we are in more trouble than we know.
Oh no. I kind of dig these guys. Gut Rippers. I like that guy. This guy's pretty cool. The swamp swallows all.
If you had told 10-year-old Adam when he got into the Warhammer hobby that we would see models that have this much amazing...
It swallows.
Plastic,
Again, I don't know if these guys are... If there's not enough perverts on their team or something, because some of these terms they're using, holy shit.
Should we begin here, Eddie?
Okay.
Absolutely. So I absolutely love these miniatures. They tick absolutely every box I want from a Destruction Force. So I think these are going to be
Yeah.
army for the new edition.
It's hard to pin down like the whole vibe of these guys. Like there's so many different influences.
Of Uruks, which are a kind of slightly more gangly breed of Uruks from the swamp, but they fight dirty, they fight cunning. If you imagine that in the kind of wider pantheon of orcs, you've got the kind of Iron Jaws on the one hand, which are all very brutal, with a little bit of cunning. They're kind of Gork's boys. These are very much Mork's boys. These are the cunning, but still brutal orcs on the other end. So they don't fight fair. They fight from the shadows. They stab you in the back. They shoot you from far away. They'll fight dirty with evil magic tricks and stuff. And they're led by this guy, a killer boss on a great Gnash tooth. This is still
Ganache?
a fairly hefty looking orc, but it's certainly not quite as beefy as some of the Iron Jaws ones, but he makes up for that.
Well, he's got looks like he's got a long ass torso.
Tooth, which is an enormous, great swamp dwelling thing. We were trying to decide what it most resembled.
I was going for it's the evil crossbreed of a honey badger and a naked mole rat, but with some sort of Uruk magic thrown in.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Tasmanian devil in there. Looks like someone shaved a rabid weasel, doesn't it? And kind of grown it to some horrible size, but horrible, like swamp.
I like the shields too.
You know, monster. We saw it in action. In
The style on the shields, it reminds me of like older Wayne England type artwork. You know, what you used to get with the fantasy and the 40k orc stuff, like the symbols and stuff like that, like the evil sons. That's what that reminds me of. It looks like it's like a callback to that style of artwork made into a sculpt. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's familiar with, like, if you look at some of the Wayne, like if you just type in Wayne England art or Wayne England orc art or Evil Sons art, and you'll see, like, you know, so much influence. And of course the way that's painted, like, and the way that's sculpted, it looks like that style from Wayne England. It's pretty interesting.
I think it's worth saying with greenskins as ever, might makes right, and so this is the mightiest, or the killer boss.
He's the mightiest, all right.
The cruel boys, and he's armed with
Dr. Santos' attack of the swamp people. Yes, essentially, right? Ghost of Starman. Maybe that's why they call my ex-girlfriend the swamp.
His mount is also super deadly, so you can expect turn in which he's charging to combat. He is going to put paid to some.
I like this one. This is cool. Oh, look at the little gobbo thingy.
Any stretch in this set for the cruel boys, though. And here we have the swamp caller shaman and his attendant potgrot.
A potgrot.
This one earlier on, Eddie.
Yeah, the potgrot is a particularly characterful little chap, isn't he? So we'll start with this one.
He's definitely a little chap.
The potgrot in a second. So, like all Oryx, there are those of them who are blessed with magical powers, and they can hear the voice of Mork in their head. This guy does a few little tricks for the faction, so he obviously gives you a little bit of magical support, but he's particularly good at concocting potions and things, so he can kind of create elixirs and things that you can give to your...
I like how he's like, you know, he's pouring that bowl out. I like that.
Some extra abilities, or you can use him to kind of summon swamps, mist and swamps and kind of things to give you...
And little potgrot is hilarious looking.
Cruel boys, they don't fight fair.
Very, very cool.
They don't fight fair is that they bring the kind of mists and unpleasantness of the swamp with them wherever they fight and kind of attack you from the murk.
Yeah, so the chat is very high on the Potgrot at the moment, and with good reason. I just want to point out a couple of the really interesting design features on this model, which you might otherwise miss. The one is that he's got a gargant skull on his back, wearing it as like some weird armoured cloak thing. But my favourite thing is, if you look at the top of his staff pole, that is a symbolic representation of the Hand of Mork. And it gives you that connection to the half of the sort of Uruk pantheon that they're perhaps more concerned with.
Yeah, I think all of the Cruel Boys
little stab grot.
to do with Mork, although they probably couldn't tell them apart anyway, so there's a little bit of brutal there.
Yeah, so if the chat thought that the Potgrot was
The stab grot,
I presented them
it looks like
killer boss with attendants
the little goblins from Labyrinth. If you've ever watched Labyrinth, and you know how like some of the little grots running around look, that's what that looks like. They have that kind of plated armor with like the funny little studs on it and everything. Like,
joined by my favourite thing
yeah.
In the Cruel Boys Horde, which is a stab grot. I mean, how cool is it? It's very cool. That's how
Yeah,
cool.
so a stab grot, what I love about little stab grot is he's clearly tried to kit himself out so he looks like a tiny version of the killer boss to kind of give some of his kudos and power perhaps. And effectively in game terms, what he does is he runs around behind the killer boss, and then whenever your opponent is distracted, he kind of quickly stabs them with his little tiny stabber.
That's funny. Comes up and he gives you a little shanking.
If there's a killing blow intended for the kill boss, he can kind of hold up the little.
That's funny.
The best thing is, the chat's like, would die to protect the stab grot, and don't ever talk to me or my child again. But the best thing is because it's sort of Uruk culture, he'll just kick him in front of anybody.
He's very attached to him right up until the point where he isn't. Yeah. But a very cool shield on these guys as well. I think one of the things I think you pointed out is that shield on the stab grot is actually a shoulder plate from an Uruk, which he's managed to steal and kind of fashion into his own little shield, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show the sort of wicked design cues that the Warhammer miniatures designers are using. There's also an option, you can give him a great big swingy bomby knocker. That's not the technical name, or his honking great big shield.
I'm gonna say, what's a bomby knocker? That sounds fun.
I like the shield so much. They've got such character, haven't they? But you haven't got a way to make him.
Ghost of Starman, Potgrot. Do you suppose he costs 420 points? I have no idea. Reinvented modeler. Does the Potgrot get high? Yeah, he's a Potgrot, right? So he's walking around with a great big doob. Yeah, one of Bowie's best films. Yeah, well, Labyrinth. Yeah, I mean, oh, look at this dude. He's a merc knob. And a Belchabana.
And the tongue keeps kind of emitting swamp gas for months and months and months after they've stuck it in the banner. So when this guy carries it round,
the heads, the heads usually have this kind of, you know, just like they're not really sculpted to very much detail, whereas these heads are like the severed heads have a lot of detail. The head of the actual orc itself, though, it looks like Buddy from Lord of the Rings, or well, not Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit, the theatric. You know, I can't remember what that big white orc was called, but yeah, it looks like him.
And then right at the bottom, you've got the grots, who are underneath all of that. And then hanging on for good measure are the severed heads of a few enemies who, you know, just to remind anybody who's not in the Pantheon of Destruction who the boss is.
Every now and again, the chat delivers something that is truly comedy gold. And one green wizard says, okay, this guy got the worst job of the lot. Here, Joe, you get to carry the tongue stick again. I love it. I really do love that connection from sort of, you know, the sort of primal deities that they worship with Kragnos, and then through the...
I like these. I like these sculpts. They're just different. I mean, like, they're different, but they're also somewhat familiar because there's obviously elements, influences from all sorts of different sources. Man skewer. Jeez. That can be taken out of context. He walked into the shower and began to lather himself up. And slowly everybody turned and looked at him and saw the man skewer hanging between his legs.
Than we've seen before. Most of the time,
that's some fiction I'm working on for y'all.
There are a few within Uruk culture who like to fire from the back
shit.
of the battlefield, play a little bit dirty.
Fucking fly.
What these guys basically do is
Ghost
they take
of
out
Starman.
targets
The head of
from
Murknob's
opportunity,
belt looks like it came from Cruz or Korax. Yeah.
heading into combat. Your basic cruel boys maybe don't hit quite
Aaron.
as hard as something like an Iron Jaw.
Looks like the orc
But they're
dude from
gonna
The Hobbit,
be
the white
great
dude. Yeah,
at
yeah.
setting up the
That's what I was saying.
elements of the enemy.
Is that a fucking ogre head hanging from the banner? I don't know.
Just standing around,
These guys are all right.
big, massive lightning
I don't know
bolts, so-
if they're. I'm gonna turn these guys down a little bit here. Yeah, these guys are all right. The crossbows look pretty darn cool. Deadly. I don't know, overall, I mean, I like these orcs, and you know what it is, I think? Is because they kind of have an older orc vibe going on. Like, they're just, you know what I mean? Like, they're kind of brutal looking, but they're not gorilla-like. They're kind of human-looking, like, oh, look at these guys. Gut rippers. Oh, these guys are cool. I am not going to lie. I dig these. Let me move my screen up a bit. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are really cool looking. They got some long ass torsos on them though. Like, or it's just they have really short legs. But either way, I mean, like, you know, they're orcs, right? I mean, they're monsters. They can fucking be whatever the fuck you want, right? But I'm having a hard time like looking at them all. Like, they're all really, really cool looking.
Shields are actually designed to match the orc who's carrying it. So if you look at the top left
Oh, really?
screen, you've got the one that's got an eye patch. His shield also has an eye patch because it's kind of modelled after him. So if you
That's funny.
bang on the shields, they're going to make a lot of noise. They're going to taunt the enemy, and then probably they're going to get stabbed in the back by the grots or something who are sneaking around behind them before the orcs charge in.
Absolutely. Somebody in the chat says, "Wow, oh right, sneaky like." Yeah, these guys are emerging from the box.
They're still wild.
Yeah, I reckon you get a good bar out of it. I just love the idea of sort of a
Those spear tips look deadly.
leering faces as they sort of prepare to bring home their charge.
Interesting. Oh, wow, look at these guys. Hobgrot. Hobgrot Slittas? Again, some of the words chosen here are just too hilarious. Slittas. Might just call them the gashers. Knife wounds. Axe wounds. If some of you don't know what I'm talking about there, you got some edumacating to do. The Slittas. These guys are like different looking. These look like they're inspired by like the look of the old hobgoblins, the ones that work with the old chaos dwarves. Oh, yeah, he's got fucking grenades. I thought those were maces. I think Buddy's banging the drum there. Are those grenades or are those maces?
Because these guys are the intermediaries in the kind of weird destruction economy between the Cruel Boys and some darker masters that the Hobgrots have elsewhere, and they trade captives that the Oryx managed to capture on their raids in the Mortal Realms in exchange.
Yeah, I guess it is a grenade because the buddy on the far left, he looks like he's like his hands extended and he's like throwing the grenade.
Talking about the Hobgrots, and he was super excited by that little nugget of information. Their armor is a slightly different style. They've got these, I can't remember the name of the grenades, what they're called, scrap grenades, which are something, you know, not typical of the Uruk clans, and it links towards this unusual connection, maybe something very familiar from the world that was.
You can see that they've got better armor than most of the Uruks have as well. So even though that they
that's better armor.
Weaponry is very
How is that better armor? Looks like the same shit. It looks like they're wearing less of it.
Their armor is slightly better made and manufactured than the stuff that like the Cruel Boys are wearing.
Yeah. And
And you get
this,
20 of those guys in a box as well, so it's not just one.
Hold on, that winged character comes in the box?
Here's the full box set laid out in all of its glory, and it is an absolutely incredible set of miniatures.
yeah, it's a stonking set, isn't it? So you've
Stonking?
got, 16
That's a
Citadel miniatures
English term I'm not familiar with.
as well as you'll have a full core book, you've got data cards for all of your units, and then you've got a start here War at Amberstone watch book, which you were telling me a little bit about before we began, Eddie.
Yeah,
So this is
like the reason these two factions are fighting.
Age of Sigmar's Indomitus box set, because like there's no terrain, there's nothing else. It's just a book, shit ton of models.
But it's also like a battle in a box if you want it to be. And War at the Amberstone Watch gives you a little bit of the lore in the background about what's going on, why these two factions are fighting, and there's a lot of things going on in the Mortal Realms new edition that have kind of set up a lot of new battlefields. So there's this concept of lots of the forces of Sigmar kind of venturing out into unexplored portions of the Mortal Realms to find new places to create cities. And what that obviously does is the Mortal Realms are full of horrible, horrible things, not least of which being the Cruel Boys. And a lot of these settlements get attacked, and the Stormcast.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. There's shit ton of stuff in here.
Back the forces of destruction, of chaos, of death, but particularly destruction, especially in the realm of beasts with the rise of Kragnos, that keep attacking these little settlements. And War at the Amberstone Watch is one of those examples, but it's typical of the wider battles that are happening all across the Mortal Realms.
Fantastic. Let's take a look at the core book itself.
Yeah, I like that.
That comes inside Dominion is
That piece of artwork, some of you who've been, following my silliness for a while know I'm a big fan of artwork, especially the classic stuff. This is probably one of the few instances of newer artwork that I would like to purchase and have on the wall, because like that one's just really, really darn good. It's just, so invocative of the world building that they're doing, right?
Bits and bobs to talk to you about, but if you are looking for miniatures, stick around please, because the Dominion box set is not the only miniatures that we're going to show you today. So we have a few hints, some of the future stuff that Orcs and Stormcast Eternals will get. But before we dive into that, we have a few other bits and bobs to talk to you about first, specifically about the new edition as a whole.
Reinvented model. Too bad I don't do wings. My ex-wife used to wear them.
because he's very excited. We've shown the book. I think it's time to do the unboxing cam, Eddie.
Oh, the unboxing cam.
I apologise in advance, guys, if this gets wobbly and strange, because I'm going to...
Yeah, Adam's got the box apparently because he's got all the boxes behind him.
And then, my poor old dog...
Oh, Eddie's got a box too.
Today when I went downstairs and stole
Ooh, some shrinkage wrap.
table. Mrs. Troke is not in the house, so nobody could stop me. Although if we could not mention to her that I stapled this mat to it, that would be for the best.
I'm
Jeez.
going to unbox mine at the same time, I think, and I'm just going to enjoy that new box smell.
That'd be hilarious if his old lady came home and just started laying the beats to him. You stupid motherfucker, you staple that to our goddamn good table. You fuck. Just see some domestic violence on a stream from Games Workshop. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny.
It smells great.
Oh, look at that.
It's the little things sometimes. They've gone for the black inline as well. I like it. So you have this is really to protect the contents of the box, but you've got a really nice piece of artwork on some card, and then you are in Sprue City.
Sprue City.
See this all right? Yeah. So I've got hobgrots coming out of my ears.
Nice.
Put these to the side. I need to find somebody in the office or something who wants to trade their other Uruks for more hobgrots.
Nice.
Love it. So I've got the Vindictors, 2 frames of Vindictors. It's very exciting.
So there's a hell of a lot of detail on these miniatures. There's loads and loads of cool little bits. I think I'm just looking through them now. I think obviously these are beautiful miniatures. I think all the stuff the studio's been putting out recently certainly has been. They are push fit, so if you didn't want to glue them, it looks like you could probably put the vast majority of these together.
Yeah, I think that like a lot of the Indomitus stuff was all push fit too. No, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've farted around with the Indomitus stuff.
Options in the box set for push fit as well. So you do have options for heads and for unhelmeted heads. It looks like for most of the Stormcast.
Yeah, so I believe each of the Vindictors certainly has an option of 2 heads. Eddie, the chat is asking quite sort of urgently, what's the availability on this? Now, you've got the info on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So this box set will be available while stocks last. it will be available to pre-order in the month of June. We don't have the exact date for you.
Sorry, I was
but it will be
clicking
available
windows.
to pre-order in June. We have made an awful lot of this box, but if you do want
Enforcer. GW News revealed domestic violence of Sigmar. Yeah.
But it will be available.
Ghost Star Red Deluxe. That's a lot of sprues. Me like it. Yeah. Well, like Indominus, it has a whack ton of sprues too, right? So.
And put them on that, and it might get a clearer picture.
Adam, just staple it to the table.
So here we have the Praetors, which are my personal favourites. I want to see what we've got for head options for a start. I'm quite excited. So we've got 1, 2, 3 helmeted heads and 1, 4 helmeted heads. Oh, that means you can do one not as a prime if you want to. Okay.
That's cool.
And then it looks like you've got an unhelmeted head potentially for at least 2 of them. That's pretty cool. You've also got these nice little, it's the small things in life sometimes that delight this particular trope. And you've got all these little, I'll point to one, little plugs that you can push into the bases, you know, the little on the bases. They've got like skulls.
Yeah, you get that with the Indominus set. There's like little Necron heads you can stick into the base.
Things that I'm really enjoying about the kits actually at the moment, just looking through them, is there is like a theme throughout the whole set, which is this kind of swamp setting. So lots of the kits have like little reeds or little kind of swampy bases, and certainly the ones with the bigger, more impressive bases have kind of hanging tendrils of swampy plant life and things dangling down from the ruined masonry. And it's clear that at some point this battlefield had been perhaps a kind of rich city or a kind of little outpost or something, and in the mists of time it's kind of overgrown by the swamp and kind of slowly started to sink into the mire.
Dr. Santos, I got the Dominus Marines assembled but not painted. Still pains me, yeah. I still have time. I don't even think I've put together one Primaris Marine with the close combat options. I don't even think I've put one of them together yet.
On the other side,
I've only gotten one Blade Guard assembled and painted.
Frame. I'm guessing by the look of that they're probably going to both be on 40 mil bases, but maybe the is it the Swamp Caller Shaman and the Lord Imperium?
Sorry, I had to
on this
scream
one.
up.
It's amazing. One of the things that never ceases to absolutely blow my mind, I don't know if you can get a decent look at this, guys, is the pieces that the Warhammer design team.
I like that backpack of the buddy with the cup with the little pot grot. I like that little pot grot. The little pot grot, it's pretty damn hilarious.
Griffhound is on the same frame as him, so it's his attendant.
I'm not sure what Eddie's doing there.
I'm sort of busting out all these frames now.
There's a lot of sprues in here. I'm just kind
It
of.
really is, yeah.
That's more than I expected.
2/3 of the way through, I would say, judging by it. So these are.
Focus!
Your,
Adam, focus!
I've jostled myself too much and I've gone out of focus. Raffle helped me reset it and return the world to some sort of order. In the meantime,
Just put it to manual focus, people.
I'm going to quickly crack open the core book, I think, and have a look at some of the.
I haven't even worked my way through the plastic yet.
I'm going to get to it. I'm going to let you do the
Taking my
plastic, and I'm
sweet
going to
time.
have a look at the core book and see if I can call out some details. So, back of the core book says, "This is a time of turmoil. This is an era of war. This is the age of Sigmar." And the core book is exclusive to this set as well. So that the treatment on the cover of the core book is exclusive. The core book will be available separately, but will have a slightly different cover. So if you do pick up a copy of Dominion, it'll be the only way to get this particular version of the core book. But it's a really
cool.
lovely looking book, and it also smells really good. It's got like a new book smell to it as well.
It's got the new book smell. I like that winged character.
Same frame as the
And buddy with the standard.
the Annihilators, by the look of it, which makes me think that this will be the first place you can get her, but not necessarily the only. I'm very excited. I love
Those shields are huge.
I've got to admit, they are amazing. And I like it when all the little back details are put on as well. Although I'm not one of these people who builds things in sub-assemblies. Whack it all together, throw paint in it, hope it works. That is my strategy for life. You have another divider here. It is exactly the same as the other one. Oh, I like how that looks. That's really good. So we've got these two little flaps, which have got an assortment of bases nestled away underneath them. I'm going to whip out all the bases now.
He's going to whip them out.
One great big bag of bases. This is a mixture of, standard 25mm slotters. You've got some 40s in there with the double slots. And then you've got, what's that going to be? A 60? Probably even says on the back. I don't know, 60mm. And then this is going to be for
The bases should have the size printed underneath them. So that, when you grab the base, you go, oh, okay, this is a 100mm, this is a 60mm, this is, 32mm.
if you're like me and a bit of a numpty when it comes to putting models together, you can
What exactly is a numpty?
sink your teeth into this. Somebody was asking me loads of questions about bases. Should you be listening still? You have 22 25mm bases, 14 32mm bases, 22 40mm bases, one 65 and one 105mm oval. So if you were excited about base sizes, not me, but if you are,
Some people really like base sizes.
it's a commonly asked question in the chat, and I don't blame them. And then here we have the start here, Amber Stone Watch, and it's got some narrative. It looks like it's got loads of lore detail on all the characters and creatures inside of it. I might turn the light off on that, see if that gives you a better picture.
Ghost of Starman. Pot grot for life. Stoner gobos rise up. Then, of course, as you say, that Greenleaf Terrain writes, blur.
Which is a lovely set of cards. I'm just going to rip the paper.
Ghost of Starman. True fans can just feel the base size in their hearts. I guess.
For all of the characters.
Oh, it's all the cards.
Now, if you were more of a rules guy than me when it comes to Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you could probably pounce right into this and tell you what's awesome.
Wow.
I
Wow.
want to know what a meteoric hammer does.
Do a fucking Owen Wilson there. Wow.
Exclusive right now. Oh yeah, all right. So 3 attacks, 3 plus to hit, 3 plus to wound, -1 rend, and 2 damage. That is quite.
That's cool, though. It comes with all the cards.
Later. Sorry, off
That's...
camera, guys. And then the surprisingly massive.
Oh, it's a hardcover, too?
Yeah, I've cracked this open myself, and it's 360
Sweet.
pages, so it's a hefty tome. Some really, really lovely.
Oh,
artwork
he just cut his pages.
Can't see it on my screen, but there's a lot of kind of really luscious.
Oh, right.
double
Back to my
page
initial
spreads,
question.
which is really
What's a numpty?
Lots of kind of lovely photography as well.
That's not a word commonly heard around these parts.
The new edition of
A numpty.
Some of the best that the studio's ever created.
There's a shot we'll show you later on in this.
I like that piece of art, though.
Which is put together by the Warhammer.
I'm not going to lie. I may get that if that comes up for sale from warhammerart.com.
Massive. It's just absolutely packed. I know the Warhammer Age of Sigmar team in particular has really focused on sort of breathing more depth into the setting for the Mortal Realms, and you're going to, by the look of it, see quite a lot more of that in here.
Yeah, that's really cool. I hope they don't do what... Like, I hope they don't try and grim dark Age of Sigmar, because that you know what I mean. Like, that's Warhammer 40,000. Like, that's that's the flavor of Warhammer 40,000. Anybody who wants grim dark, you go to Warhammer 40,000, right? Anybody who wants high fantasy, crazy crap like that, you come to Age of Sigmar, right? I certainly hope that they don't do something boring like that. Like, try to make Age of Sigmar like 40K, that same vibe, that sensibility. I just hope they don't do that. Let Age of Sigmar be its own thing,
With a fine vintage of stories. Particularly enjoyed his Warhammer Fantasy Battle Orion series, for anyone who's read that, but he's done an awful lot of good stuff for all of Warhammer, so there's a good novel on the way to accompany your new edition.
So, I think it's worth saying.
I'm wondering too if, like, with the design elements that they've been going with for a lot of the Stormcast Eternal stuff, if they want to distance themselves from the stereotype of being Sigmarines, right? Oh, what's this?
And then just a cheeky highlight of silver on the very edges.
What's a cheeky highlight? Looking kind of gray there.
Nay, it is I, the benevolent and omnipotent Sigmar.
Sigmar himself!
Silence! We have no time for inane mortal babblings. Now tell me, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just painting these new Stormcast Eternals. They're cool and all, but
I said silence.
He said he's painting them, but there's no paint on his brush.
In idle chit-chat. I am here to give you 8 new things about the new Warhammer Age of Sigmar. 1. This is the best rule set you have ever seen.
Ever.
Cleaner, clearer, and more elegant than ever before.
It's HD.
Amazing. And I thought they couldn't get any
It's
better.
4K and HD. Age of Sigmar now is 4K.
These are rules you could take home to meet your parents. 2. Your heroes have more to do than ever before.
Heroes are more heroic.
That means more command points and more abilities.
Crikey.
Yes, more chances to show off in front of the troops, thanks to all new heroic actions. 3. Monsters are called that for a reason, and now they can accomplish some properly monstrous things in the charge phase.
Gee whiz, what sort of things do you mean, Sigmar?
You know, stomping, roaring, smashing, monster stuff. 4. Going second doesn't mean you'll be finishing in second place.
Second is the new
With
first.
more command points to spend
That's funny.
If your opponent takes the first turn, you'll have ample time and resources to disrupt their moves.
Does that mean there'll be less downtime?
Silence! Speaking of which, 5. No more watching from the sidelines as your troops take the brunt of the enemy's attack. Use reactive command abilities in every phase of the game to interrupt your opponent and frustrate their plans. 6. Endless spells are back and more vicious than ever, with predatory endless spells now moving in every hero phase. That means double the magical mayhem. 7. Build your army in interesting ways using different core battalions. It's simple, flexible, and you even get some cool new abilities to try out.
Wow, surely there can't be anything else.
Incorrect. I said 8 and I meant it. Sigmar never lies, apart from...
I'm not sure why, you know, like, Hollywood's not knocking at Nick's door to star in the next movie.
Campaign and see your cheery little warriors rise from bumbling farmhands to mighty conquerors. Take territory and earn artifacts, spells, and other shiny trinkets.
Praise be to Sigmar. Well, there you have it from the big man himself. You get all of this and some rather swanky miniatures in the new Dominion box, the best Warhammer Age of Sigmar box set we've ever seen.
Right, Nick, gotta go. The mortal realms aren't going to save themselves. The greatest box set ever!
Representations of Sigmar in this video may not be representative of the God King himself. Divine intervention should be neither inferred nor expected. At least some persons in this video are in...
They cut off the warning.
Well, first of all, hats off to Nick Brayton from the Warhammer community team for being such a good sport and helping
And Sigmar himself.
and helping potentially Sigmar from
Where am I in these comments here?
things about the new edition.
Enforcer, 8 new things. Corn confirmed.
Considering how much I've enjoyed delving into
Ghost Starman, yeah, 4K US dollars. Jeez, yeah, probably. Enforcer, heroes are now heroes, crikey. Heroes, crikey? I thought crikey was an Australian expression. I didn't know it was something people say in the UK. I mean, you know. I mean, I'm sure I'm completely wrong, but, you know. Ghost Starman, ooh, shiny trinkets. Oh boy. Yeah. Why does Adam look like he's going to kill somebody? Adam looks like he's going to kill somebody. And he's looking towards Eddie, which looks like he's going to kill somebody.
Who doesn't want a massive flaming mouth flying around?
The big jaws. I love that model so much, but I've just not managed to find a place for it in an army yet. But this might be the catalyst I need.
Right. So, somebody in the chat asked a question that I believe I can answer. I would say I can
Somebody.
answer with 85% certainty. I've been looking on the frame, and I think that the Indrasta head is always bareheaded. I don't think there's a different option. If there is, then I will be equally surprised and delighted when I build it, which might not be in the too distant future, considering how my weekend is shaping. Right. So we have basically just dived into Dominion, and we have looked at.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cinematic trailer.
Who's buying Dominion? Who needs Dominion? I imagine everybody who's already playing Age of Sigmar is, you know, they're jumping in on this regardless, right? Shit, did they say when it was getting released? I missed that. I was fucking talking too much. Oh. Oh, look at that dude. He's cool. Ooh, he's running. Oh, he's pouncing. He's cool. I like these dudes. Oh, it's a chariot. That's cool. That's really cool. I like those models. That's really cool. It's all really cool. This man is overgasped.
I mean, that's everything I want in life. It's Stormcast Eternals riding a
Yeah.
drawn by
Little griffhounds. Just leaping. Just, you know.
with a bow.
That's pretty cool. Oh. Happened to the audio. We lost audio. Don't know. Yeah, I like these little griffhounds. These are cool. And Buddy with the big bow, that's just a cool looking model. The base is a little bit unnecessary. I don't think the base really need to be that big, but, you know, whatever. But I like the griffhounds, man. They look really, really cool. I like them. Did my shit cut out? No, I'm still going. Right? We're still going? Yeah. I think we're still going, aren't we? Sort of. Anyway, yeah. Those little guys are really cool. I like the bow. Now, is his face actually... Or is that a gold face? I can't tell. I can't tell if that face detail on the archer is recessed. Oi, what the hell? I don't know what's going on. Technical difficulties, apparently. So, yeah. As I was saying there a moment ago, yeah, who's behind the box?
Right.
Oh, they're back. Never mind.
After a small technical issue, we should be back. Somebody tell me in the chat if you can hear my voice. That would be useful. And if we have... Yay! Adam's energetic excitement broke his mic. It might be true, but it didn't break my enthusiasm for the Night Judicator. I don't know how far...
Yeah, this guy's pretty cool.
Our sound was robbed from us. But, Eddie, you were...
In fact, I'm going to...
We'll just super quickly summarise. I don't know if they heard me or not, but basically, the Griffhounds look amazing. They're leaping across the battlefield.
Yeah, I like those models.
All the Griffhounds, obviously, we've ever made are brilliant, but these ones are particularly cool. And the Night Judicator himself looks like a...
Like, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, when we talk about, you know, the difference between Age of Sigmar and what they're doing with that. And, like... with Warhammer 40,000. Like, why couldn't they just switch over and create these kind of things for Space Marines, for Space Wolves? Why can't the Space Wolves have crazy-ass wolf-like creatures like this? Not this, but, you know, something else, right? Instead of just regular old wolves. They're just wolves, you know. This chariot, though, is freaking cool, man. I dig this model. Obviously, it's very, you know, Romanesque, of course. But the fact that it's, you know, these big, you know, griffins pulling it, you know. Stormstrike's Chariot. Oh, he had a hard time singing it too. I like this. This is really cool.
It looks like a kind of, you know, Romanesque or kind of ancient Greek-esque looking chariot.
It's, you know, it's not overly gibbly-gooked up with details. It's really straightforward. Which is kind of like, you know, most of Stormcast stuff, right? Stormcast stuff is very straightforward in its design.
If you follow the lore of the Stormcast Eternals, this Stormstrike chariot hails from the Angelus Conclave, and its sole purpose is to deliver devastating charges and harass the enemy ranks.
Harass or harass?
Equipped with a great stormbow and a Stormstrike axe, or potentially you can swap one of those out for a tempestuous spear. More on that closer to its release.
I don't even know what that is. We haven't seen it either,
but I like the idea of standard English.
Enforcer. Yeah, that's where's my dynamic Fenrisian wolves? Yeah, exactly, right? Like, if you're going to do wolves in Warhammer 40k, then you might as well do really great-looking fucking wolves.
What's fantastic about this is just a wonderful of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. The Dominion box being followed so quickly by fantastic new plastic kits.
What was going on with Eddie's forehead there? Some sort of graphical glitch. Oh. Oh, what's this? It's a big ballista. Oh, that guy's cool. Oh, it's a big ogre thingy. A beast skewer. Huh.
I mean, if the Crawl Boys have floated your boat as you've looked through the Dominion box with us, then you're going to be very excited about these.
Oh, my boat was floated.
One of these up on the screen, and let's get it.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Crawl Boys Beast Skewer Killbow.
It's a killbow.
Like the size of a tree.
Yeah, so in the box set for Dominion, we know there are some man skewer bolt boys, and this is basically that.
Man skewer.
You can start skewering gargants. So you can see this is a multi-grot operated weapon system, and it brings a really interesting thing to the forces.
Skewer is just a fun word.
Stuff in the way of like long-range war machines and things. This gives you the opportunity to put some really.
I'm sorry, it's a beast skewer.
This thing is basically designed to take down big multi-wound monster models.
No shit.
From far away. So if your Cruel Boys are thinking, actually, you know what, that big dragon on the other side of the battlefield probably don't fancy fighting that.
This seems like the equivalent of an Imperial Guardsman trying to shoulder fire a basilisk's cannon. So imagine Imperial Guardsman holding like the basilisk cannon and just trying to fire it. That's what this is.
And if that is what you want to do with them, you'll be pleased to know that there's plenty of stuff coming to allow you to make an entirely Cruel Boys themed army. The other way that you can field your Cruel Boys is if you have an Uruk War Clans army, you can mix them in amongst things like Iron Jaws and Bone Splitters. All of those continue to exist.
That's kind of cool.
But if you just super love the Cruel Boys, like I do, then
I like these models.
look forward to having stuff to expand your Dominion collection.
I like this thing's cool.
Thing is this guy, which is a Cruel Boys Breaker Boss, which is one of my
Breaker
favorite
Boss.
models of the whole year, and that is saying something because we've had some doozies. This is a Breaker Boss on Maya Brute Trogoth. So
this is cool.
One of the themes of the Cruel Boys is that, as well as kind of coming out of the swamps with all of these unpleasant Uruks and Hobgrots and things, they also come out with monsters.
I like how they even had the courtesy to pad the little where his little stake is on his back and give him a cushion back there. That's funny.
Maya Brute Trogoth, which is a type of Trogoth who lives in the swamps.
It's a Trogoth.
The unpleasant brutal
Trogoth.
Breaker Boss, and his job basically is one of the Cruel Boys who tames these big massive beasts, and you can see the brand on the back of the Maya Brute Trogoth there. This is one that's been, I suppose, tamed. It's probably a slightly strong word, but it's a Maya Brute Trogoth that you can point in the right direction. And on the back there, he's also got a nice big stabber stick.
I like the painting on the skin for the Trogoth.
Really nice little features I want to point out to the people watching. One is they have matching gut plates. That's not only fun but cute. And the gut plate on the big Maya Brute Trogoth, we'll say that in a hurry, is sensational. On the back, it's got this really cute pillow to stop him getting too chased by the pole above which the Breaker Boss sits. The Breaker Boss is armed with a Bident goad, and then the Trogoth himself has iron-bound clubs. I don't know what they do yet, but they sound wacky.
You're gonna make a mess if you get hit. Yeah. I mean, this is a big miniature as well. So if you're looking
Oi, Jesus!
kind of cool centerpiece,
I didn't see that. Shit,
in amongst your
I missed it. I missed it.
be right up your streets.
Somebody subscribed. I missed it. I'm sorry.
The idea of the Cruel Boys is another interesting direction. You can see that kind of brand.
Oh, thank you, Jack Noir. Jack Noir. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Ghost Star Man. I mean, let's be fair, man. He do be skewering the beast. He do. He do. This thing's really cool. That's a really cool looking model.
And there we are. It has
Is that it?
an incredible rush for the last, I don't know, hour and 20 minutes or so as we have delved in to this sensational new edition.
It should be Adam Flex Troke. That's what his name should say. He should be known as Flex, because he's pulling a full flex. You know, all those box sets behind him. his collections of models. He's like, look at all my shit. Look at all the shit I do. What do you do? I got all this shit. It's a flex. Whoa, what happened to Eddie? Whoa. Oh, he's pixelated. It's a glitch in the Matrix. Eddie's in the Matrix right now. He's losing connection to the Matrix.
We might have a few minutes just to kind of answer any kind of prominent ones about the Dominion box set. I think we've dealt with most of it. A quick reminder, this is available to pre-order in June. It will be available while stocks last, but we have made an awful lot of them. So if you want to get your hands on it, and why would you not? Because it's an absolutely incredible box set. Do please look to pre-order.
Yeah, this is basically Indominus. So I would assume this is probably going to cost just as much as Indominus.
All the models in the box set on a nice big glorious swamp. That is pretty much just the best looking Warhammer battle I think I've ever seen.
The fun part with these pictures, then when they do these big broad pictures, is can you pick out what was custom made and what is something that might be a future release. Always really fun.
For them, this is a really special day as we get to unveil what is coming in this new edition. I couldn't be more proud and more excited by the work that Jez Bickham, the head of the Warhammer Age of Sigmar team, and all of his gang have put into this just sensational looking box. It really has been just an honour to open it and to share some of it with you as you've joined in the chat. I don't know how many of you there still are, but we have had tens of thousands of you in here with us. And it has been a delight to share our enthusiasm. What remains for the rest of this is for us to thank you all so much for coming and for spending, I don't know, an hour and a quarter with us and getting excited about Warhammer Age of Sigmar. 2021 is shaping up.
Oh, Eddie's all glitched out again.
For the Warhammer hobby, and this
Adam's flexing and Eddie's glitching.
I'm sorry. It's because I'm hyped to get my paws on this box.
As soon as we stop the stream, you're going to be diving in.
Somebody in the chat said they got the impression that Mrs. T had perhaps wasn't around this weekend, and they're dead right. So it's me and the dog and a box of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. This is all coming later in June. Please, if you want more information about what's coming and all of the things that you've seen in this stream today, make sure you go over to warhammercommunity.com, and there'll be a full article which covers everything we've talked about today. Maybe there'll be some extra details. You can rewatch the video again. It'll be awesome.
Rewatch it.
And then keep your eye on Warhammer.
I'm going to have it on continuous loop.
For more information as we go. If you go over to Warhammer Age of Sigmar's website, you can find the link at the top of Warcom. You can subscribe to a newsletter so you can be the first.
Okay, we done?
To hear all the latest
Are we done?
information.
I think we're done, boys.
Bringing you updates throughout the month so that you can join the hype and be as excited as we are.
Can join in on the hype. The hype train is a rolling.
Flying by in the chat, I just wanted to quickly address. So there's a couple of questions there about price. We don't have the exact price for you today, but this is a similar sort of size of box set to the Indomitus box set that we have last year. So you can infer from that what you want, but that's not.
Yeah, I would assume it's going to probably cost about the same as what that was.
There's a question about battle tomes. So obviously, whenever you have a new edition of anything, Age of Sigmar, those models in that box are going to need some rules somewhere. So again, no specifics on battle tomes yet, but certainly battle tomes are a thing. Will continue to be a thing, and will support
battle tomes
released. So again, read into that what you will. And then I think everything else, Adam, you've most of the other big points that you've covered fairly well there.
Well, in that case, what remains is to do some thanks. I've already thanked them, but I will thank them again. The Warhammer Studio team, all of you from the miniature designers and conceptualizers to the heavy metal team who painted, the army painters
Yeah.
who did more, the book layout guys, the photographers,
Okay.
the rules writers, background writers.
I'm jumping back to my main cam.
People who make it happen. For me,
There we go.
it's so exciting to see what just looks like the absolute best edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar so far. Thank you guys, you are awesome. Thank you to the moderators.
IBA K-Spian. Can't hear him. Can't hear him. Oh. Reinvented Modeler. Numpty is a dumbass, but it's a nicer way here in Blighty. Enforcer Adam Full Box Flex. Yeah, that should be his name. Adam Full Box Flex Troke. Yeah. Enforcer, they didn't turn on the Geller fields. Yeah, exactly, right? Eddie's getting all fucking matrixed out.
Behind the scenes, it has been great. We'll see you again very soon. Good night.
I like that. Adam Full Box. Full Box. Full box flex. That shit's funny, man. That was a good one. That's a good one. You got me. You got me. My mouth was open. So what did they say? They said that was June? Okay. So, for all of you out there who are all about the Age of Sigmars, June. There we go. Whack ton of models. A whack ton. A whack ton. How big is a whack ton? A ton that you can whack. I thought that one might be obvious. Reinvented Modeler, i.e., if you read my comment, you'd know, wouldn't you? You numpty. You numpty. An English dictionary might come in handy for you. Like an English dictionary or just English? Because, yeah, numpty. Numpty's not something, that's not a word that's used around here. Which is why I asked. Because, yeah, on this side, where people speak English, we don't use terms like that. And blighty. Like, blighty. What's blighty? I mean, a blight? Like an actual blight? Because blights aren't good. I don't know why you'd want to use the term blighty to describe your home. Enforcer. So I'm betting it's going to be like 300 US? Yeah, probably. What was Indominus? I don't even know what Indominus was. Can you even get Indominus anymore? I don't even think so. They said they produced a whole whack ton. So, hopefully, I know the whole scalpers and everything like that. That's a whole problem. But I mean, I don't think Games Workshop really cares because they're buying it, right? And it is a problem. And I think when they did it with the last one, where a whole bunch of scalpers bought, a whole bunch of box sets, and then they did another printing and they did another pre-order, print on demand kind of thing. I think that really kind of fucked over a lot of people who are the scalpers. And I think that kind of move, they should do that anyway, especially with these big releases and these big kind of, hype sessions, and then, get everybody all worked up about this. And then, of course, so when the pre-order comes out, it's sold out like that. But like if there was like a whole bunch of people trying to scalp in on that stuff, that, Games Workshop goes, yeah, we're going to print on demand. So if you still wanted a box, you're ordering one box, then, yeah, we're going to, that's just kind of good customer relations, and also, also a way for them to make a lot of money because, that way they ensure that all the units that they produce, are getting moved. So, I'm sure it's as from a business standpoint, I'm not sure that, Games Workshop really gives a shit that there's a whole bunch of scalpers out there, buying up all the product because once it's sold, Games Workshop really doesn't care, right? I mean, who does, right? Oi! Demon Monk, or yeah, Old Man Logan, subscribe. Sup, dog? Sup? Here we go. Oh, it's gone. He came too fast. Came too fast. Thank you, Old Man Logan, for subscribing. Reinvented Modeler. Of Blighty goes back to Trenches World War I. Okay. Enforcer. I think Indominus was like $250 US. $250 US? Okay, well, that's... I would expect this new Age of Sigmar box to cost at least that, if not more than $20 more. I would say $270 tops. $270 tops. Inflation and, bullshit reasons, right? So, yeah. That's my speculative guess. If it's more than 300, ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. The Wannabe Painter, Dom. Thank you for the critics on the Grimdark Iron Warriors. The texturing is a mix of Vallejo, plastic putty, and earth texture. Very late today because of work. Yeah, no problem, dude. I don't take attendance, so I'm not worried about when you show up. Vallejo, plastic putty, and earth texture. Okay. Very, very cool. So it's just like just a slight little texturing on the surface. Because like it's, on the models, it's very, very subtle. So like that's why I was kind of curious as to what you did. But yeah. Because usually whenever anybody's trying to throw any kind of mediums onto or any textures onto a surface, it usually ends up kind of being a bit heavy-handed. Whereas that was very nice and subtle. Like my first guess would have been you used pigments. And you just built up pigments to get that kind of really barnacle-y kind of look on that surface. But it didn't quite look that like a pigment, but that was my first guess. And so, yeah. Very, very cool. Enforcer. I mean, if anything, if scalpers are a big problem again, they always just release them in separate sets with more modular styles later. Yeah. I mean, you know, again, I don't from a business standpoint, I don't think they're too concerned about scalpers. It's really more of a customer relation, type of thing, as far as, just making sure that everybody can get the chance to own a copy, right? That's the goodwill as far as customer. But otherwise, from a business standpoint, I don't think they give a shit. If it's sold, the unit sells, the unit sells. If it sells, it sells, right? It's moving, it's moving. So I think that if they do that pre-order and then bang, there's a bunch of scalpers grabbing up a whole bunch of box sets and then, going to double the costs of the things, right? Which is a dick move. It's a dick move to do, But, there's so many things within this hobby. I personally don't agree with, recasts. I don't really agree with. If it's something that's out of production, not really much of a deal. But if it's something in current production, yeah, it's kind of a dick move. Same with like the alternate sculpts. Making sculpts on somebody else's IP. I don't agree with that either. So like companies, I don't want to name any names, but companies out there producing models for things that are currently already still being sold, and using somebody else's IP and making money off of it, that's kind of a dick move. That's why I don't really support a lot of the third-party type stuff, because it's kind of a dick move. You're basically, making money, you're profiting off of somebody else's ideas. Yes, it's a big company. Yes, they make millions. Still not an excuse, to use up somebody else's intellectual property. Reinvented modeler. Oh, on crikey, we also say cripes. Yeah, I've heard cripes. I've used cripes. Here lieth your first English lesson. Okay. JPEM. They'll probably do 3 starter sets after, like with Indominus. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, I'd imagine, right? Like Indominus, right? They had the big Indominus set, and then they had the little, what was it? Like the combat and bigger box. Like there was like the little box, which was just like a couple, units with a little bit of terrain as a thing. And then there was the medium box, which was a couple more units, a little bit more terrain. And then the big box, which had lots of terrain and lots of units, right? And yeah, I'd imagine they'll probably do a similar thing, especially if that sold and that was successful. Yeah, they'll emulate that for Age of Sigmar. I'd imagine. I wouldn't be shocked, but yeah. The thing is, though, is that Age of Sigmar, I mean, like, there is quite a bit already, terrain options and stuff. Because they can just take, like, the Warcry stuff and throw that into the Age of Sigmar starter box sets. And, you've got little mini Age of Sigmar stuff, right? But yeah. Ghost of Starman. Yeah, recasts are only justifiable for out-of-production limited edition stuff, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, if it's something that is not currently offered, okay, fine. You really, really want it. Somebody else is producing them. Okay. Or, if the company's abandoned, it's kind of like abandonware, right? Like in software, it's kind of like that, and in that kind of instance, it's almost like it falls into public domain, right? It's not public domain, but it's a similar vibe. And, if it's like movie studios, if they want to maintain the rights to an IP, they have to keep using it, right? Use it or lose it, right? And with Games Workshop, they should. So, for example, if they are not doing anything with Battlefleet Gothic, then it should, right? Use it or lose it. So that should spur them on to continuously keep pumping out things, even for stuff that has been long not supported, right? Like Epic and, well, Aeronautica now, and of course Titanicus and, Battlefleet Gothic. I want to see a return of Battlefleet Gothic. I want to see, new plastic models for all the factions. I want to see updated, highly detailed sculpts. You know, I would love to see that for Battlefleet Gothic, for Age of Gothic. Yeah. No idea where I am. JPEM, they did that with the Night Haunt versus Stormcast starter set, so they seem to like it. Yeah. Reinvented modeler. No numpty English lesson. You said it. No English. No English. You said it. I said it. No numpty English. No numpty English. What the fuck are you talking about? I think you might have. I think your vinyl record might have slipped a groove there, bud. JPEM, I got 3D printed Saturn style Terminators that I don't feel bad about since they don't have models for them. Sure. Right. Again, no. I mean, like if somebody printed it up or made a 3D sculpt of it and is not charging for it, and then you get the file and you print it and you want to paint it and make up rules for it and play with it, I don't see anything wrong with that either, right? Just don't be surprised that official events don't allow those models because they're not official, blah blah blah, right? Official. But anyway, yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with that because I mean, like, if no money was trading hands, there was no profiting off of that effort of somebody else's IP. Not really an issue. There's no profiting, right? But it's when you're profiting off of somebody else's effort. That's when it's unethical, right? Aaron Seach, an epic in the same scale as the new Titanicus. Yeah. And see, and that's why so many people have speculated that if Epic does return, it will be bigger. It won't be 5mm figures. It'll be like 6 or 7mm figures, like the infantry, right? Which would be cool. And since Games Workshop, they've really kind of brought it with the plastics. I mean, making little 7mm Space Marines, I think those would be like highly detailed. I mean, so much that you probably, I'm not saying it would be 100%, but you probably could get the impression of like chapter symbols. You know what I mean? Like, that's how detailed the plastics get these days. I mean, like, here's the epic Hellblaster fucking thing for the Titan. Like, the corners are so sharp. There's so much detail, Like Games Workshop plastics are fantastic. They're fantastic. So detailed. Now would be the time to bring back Epic and give us all the Titans, Space Marine Legions, Imperial Guard, Eldar, Orcs, Tyranids, all that stuff. Bring it all back and give us the epic, battlefields, right? Mainly, I really want more epic because I used to play Titan Legions way back in the day. I didn't play a lot of like epic, and I didn't get into Epic 40,000 because it went from Space Marine to Titan Legions, right? And that was all pretty much one game system. And then, of course, it was New Edition and it became Epic 40,000. And I didn't really play when it was Epic 40,000. And with the older Epic, or Space Marine, whatever you want to call it, Titan Legions, it was a lot of fun just playing because I loved playing the Imperator Titan against the Mega Gargants and then having all the little supporting stuff. Just because, like, maintaining the Imperator Titan, it was a game unto itself. It's kind of like how Titan Legions plays today, where there's a lot of record keeping and like where impacts are and distributing energy and stuff like that. You had to do that for the Imperator Titan. The other Titans back in the day, it wasn't really quite that complex, but with the Imperator, yeah, you had to roll the power and allocate power and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. It had, like, for me, what my draw was at that point was it was like Starfleet Battles, the Star Trek one. It was a pen and paper game. Anyway, it was a bit like that where you had to allocate power and I like that kind of stuff. It just gets you into commanding these big bots, right? So I dig it. Reinvented model. That's because you Canadian and I'm British, miles apart in more ways than one. Oh, I give up. Don't give up. Also, I'm not Canadian, but yeah. JPEM, the Titanics and Aeronautica Imperialis models have amazing detail for their size. I love them. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, even like, man, like if you painted both a 40K version of a model for Aeronautica and an Aeronautica model, and you painted them both to have a very similar kind of vibe, like just mostly flat colors, maybe the symbols and stuff like that, you would be hard pressed. And if you removed the bases and so you just had them kind of free floating in a space, you could not tell which one was which. Like that's how well they're made, you know. You more than likely think that the 40K version was the Aeronautica version, just because a lot of the Aeronautica stuff that, or like the stuff that shows up in Aeronautica that have 40K versions are typically forge rolled, and that's resin, and resin famously gets wonky in some places and sometimes is bent and skewed, and whereas the plastic versions are hard plastic and, you know, they're usually really, really spot on. There's straight angles, and, you know, very rarely do you encounter those kind of deformities, you know. Enforcer. But Kris, what about these guys that make custom parts for like Marines, like different heads and shoulders and torsos, and who make stuff to add to McFarlane Marines? That is a tough one. That is a tough one. Third party. Doing it on the side is a little unethical versus if they could get a license to do it, you know. And realistically, Games Workshop should just license out all these people who make third party bits. Just license them out and allow them to officially do it. That way they can make parts that fit right alongside and do not have to, you know, change the prescribed amount for avoiding copyright so they don't get sued. Why bother suing a bunch of people when you can just profit off their effort? Like, I don't understand why they don't do that. Like, why they don't just license out all these people who make, you know, third party, you know, Dark Eldar and third party Necrons, and, you know what I mean? Like, all these people, third party them out, give them a license deal, and the revenue they generate comes back to you. Like, I don't understand why they don't do that. Like, all they do is they win. All they do is win. And even if those people don't make a lot of money, who cares? Because you're still getting your cut. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they don't. And that way, those people who want to make those third-party bits, they can make them look like the actual appropriate sculpts rather than changing them up. Because, see, that's why I don't like some of these third-party sellers, because they have to change aspects of the model, add doodads, and, you know what I mean? And they just look really, you know, jumbled up and really visually, you know, noisy. And, you know, versus just license them out. Give them an official license that they can produce, you know, the models. Or sue them into oblivion. One of the two, you know? Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why not just profit off their effort? If you have a whole bunch of people out there who want to make this stuff, you know, but they're making stuff that is supposed to be for your, you know, your environment, then, you know, but they're changing it up, and when you see it on the table and it's obvious that they don't fit in, and you know, because all you have to do, if you license those people and they come up with a really great idea, guess what? It's your idea now, right? So all they have to do is license out to a whole bunch of people, and if some of them make an idea that looks, oh, that looks really great, I like the way they do this, and yeah, okay, we're gonna borrow it. Too bad, you know. But anyway. Ghost of Starman, getting a bit peckish. I'm going to head off for dinner now. Been working on a test model for my Lizardman. So we'll hopefully send pics soon. Later, Chris Monkeys. Later, duder. You know what? What time we at? Holy cremolies. We're 35 minutes OT. Preview's done. And you know what? I don't have any emails. So guess what? I'm not doing any emails. I could pretty much end the show right here. Oh, they're doing the thingy there. There we go. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. the wannabe painter. Making money with stolen model ideas is wrong, but bringing out models which are only available in an expensive box is also not the best idea. Bringing out models which are only available in an expensive box is also not the best idea. Well, people will pay it. If you really want it, people are going to pay it, you know. I mean, the best business practice, you know, on them, sure. It might not be the best idea, but that does not give you the license to, you know, copy those models that are in that box set and then make copies of them. That's unethical, right? I mean, you know, if you know essentially that you're really excited about that one particular model in that giant box set, you're just gonna have to wait or work out a deal with somebody to acquire and go halvesies with somebody on a box set. You know what I mean? Like there's ways around that price point, you know? There's ways around it. So, you know. Reinvented model. Thought you said you were Canadian. My apologies, Kris. So, what are you then? Martian? No. I'm Anishinaabe. On this side of the pond, we're referred to as First Nations. The reason why it's called First Nations because we are the First Nations on this continent before there was a Canada and USA. Under treaty with the Crown, which would be your queen or king, we have agreements, contracts, treaties, and we are not subjects of the Crown. So we are not citizens of Canada or the U.S. The U.S. is a little different, but yeah. When you're looking at the maps of Canada and U.S., you should see like little blank spots because there's territories which are not ceded to the Crown or to the U.S. government. They're unceded territories. They're still within our sovereign jurisdiction, by our own sovereignty. My territory, Garden River, is unceded, so it means that we are the law in that land, even though it is within Ontario. There should be a little chunk missing, and Canada and U.S. are full of like those little spots all over the place. And they're the last little bastions around. So yeah, I'm not a Canadian. I'm not an American. I'm Anishinaabe. I'm Ojibwe. Americans know us as Chippewa, but yeah. But it's by our own sovereignty in our lands. If anything, we would be an ally to the Crown because we fought alongside the Crown. But we're not citizens. Where the hell am I? Where am I? JPM, you sometimes see people on Reddit confuse Titanicus model posts with people having spent $10,000 on full-scale Titan army that look that good. Yeah, exactly, right? Because the models are really, really good. Like Titanicus, like they did a really great job on, you know, making those Titanicus models and making the 40K versions, or whichever came first. I don't know which one ever came first. I would assume the 40K came, and then they just took those, scanned them, refined them, and made them for Titanicus, but who knows? I mean, they might have started as 3D files, made them for 40K, and then said, you know what, we could probably make more and do it as Titanicus, and we have these files, we just got to change the scale. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not there in those design processes, right? But yeah. Reinvented modeler. Yeah, just like our TV license fee. Should be scrapped? Scrapped? Yeah. I don't know what that TV license fee is. I don't know what that is. Like when you pay for your cable TV? Is that what you mean? So we just pay for cable, but there's different providers. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the same thing. Frykin, Kris, did you ever finish your Space Marine helmet at that airbrushed painting from years ago? No, actually I didn't. The Space Marine helmet? No, I never. No. And I had other intentions with all that foam that I have for that. I wanted to do something different. It wasn't going to be a Space Marine helmet. It was going to be a different helmet. I just haven't gotten around to it. Just, you know, time. And then, of course, you know, a lot of times, you know, like with hobbying, right? Painting miniatures and doing all this stuff, working on terrain and, you know, various projects. It's not a hobby for me, right? It's a job, right? It's how I make money. It's how I make a living, right? It's making these videos. That's the job. So painting miniatures and stuff like that, that's the job. It's not my hobby anymore. So my free time, I don't do this stuff, right? So, yeah. Because if I was going to make, something with the foam, do the Space Marine helmet kind of thing, I would film it. Because invariably, everybody would ask me, well, film it and, document it. Whereas when I paint miniatures on my own time, I can work quite quickly and get through stuff. I usually take my time, though, but I can work through them. But when I film it, that adds 4 times the amount of time necessary to complete a project. So it takes me 4 times as long to complete a project if I have to film it, which is why, currently working on the Adeptus Sororitas from McFarlane Toys, it takes a while because, I got to film it. Then I got to edit that. And I got to voice it. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of shit I got to do. So, yeah, it's just a process, but that's the job. That's the job, And again, when people out there who want to make this hobby their job, you've got to bear that in mind, that it's no longer your hobby. You can't, you know what I mean? If you don't feel like doing your hobby, well, there's no pressure. When it becomes your job, though, and you don't feel like it, well, guess what? Too bad. You got to get it done. It's your job. You got to pay the bills, right? Oh, your mindset has to change completely. Reinvented modeler. Well, at least we have something in common. We have Grimsby 2. It's twinned. Okay. Interesting. Love tribal stories. Oi! Ron Stokes. Sweet Ron. Sweet. Oh, he's gone. I should really have the animated thing come out. And people were like, what the fuck, man? Like, why is he jerking these symbols off? I don't know. But anyway. Thank you, Ron Stokes, for subscribing. It was on the YouTube side of things, but whatever. Love the tribal stories. Yeah, it's not a tribal story. It's not a story. It's history, man. And it's not tribal. It's nations. It's nations. We're not tribes. See, that's one of those terms that needs to change. Is the term tribe? We weren't tribes. Tribes would seem to indicate that we're small groups of people roaming around, right? We're not. Our territory was vast and huge. We're a nation, and everybody thinks that North America was this wide open territory, and all these people just kind of milling about, and or there's only a few people milling about. Because mainly because first of all, you have to tell yourself that story so you can justify what had occurred. That's why that story gets perpetuated, and that's why the terminology, the language used, remains, because it's to help justify. Because otherwise, the alternative is that there was some wrongdoing, and you go down that whole path. So that's why when you use the language like tribes, that's what that is indicating. That, it was just scattered little people then. No. That's not it. No. And the idea that North America was this big blank slate and it was just a few people scattered about doing fuck all, that's incorrect. That's wrong. North America was divided up into countries. There's nations. Native Americans, okay? Native Americans don't speak the same language. There's many different languages across this continent. Continent's huge. North America is fucking huge. And there was agreements, contracts, treaties between nations. We went to war with other nations. We were at peace with other nations. We had trade agreements with other nations. This continent was divided up into countries before there was a Canada and USA. And it was all nations. There was Navajo Nation, Apache Nation, Blackfoot Nation, Ojibwe Nation, Cree Nation, Dene. You know what I mean? Like all these different people. There was a whole bunch of people. And everybody had all the little borders. Everybody had all the little agreements. Sometimes they were at war with each other. Sometimes they were at peace with each other. Sometimes they had trade agreements going. You know what I mean? Vast system. Vast. So, yeah, it's incorrect. Haunted miniatures. Just streaming seems to make painting take longer too, and just performing. No editing, starting, stopping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the work involved. Yeah, streaming. Now, mind you, most of the time, like a lot of my time creating my videos for YouTube, yeah, it's, there's a lot of prep that goes in to working on stuff, and then of course the filming and the editing. Right? And then the posting, and then, all the other social aspects of it and everything like that. Yeah, there's all sorts of shit involved, right? And streaming, to me, seems just a little bit, just a tad, maybe a one notch, less time consuming than, editing, right? Because editing can take up a lot of time. A lot of times I end up with hours of footage and I condense it down into 10 minutes, right? So it's a lot of times it's choosing what, and then, that's why sometimes, the moments seem like they go really fast throughout and covering a lot of time because when you're filming, sometimes there's dry times, which of course I don't record because, it's record, capture a moment, hit stop, right? And so that's the way I usually work. Unfortunately, sometimes what ends up happening is I'll forget to hit the record, I'll do some work, and then I hit the button and then I record nothing. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, I fucked up. And so sometimes that's why that happens, because a dummy, this guy, forgets to hit record. And yeah, it happens. It happens. We make mistakes. It happens, man. It happens. Not much you can do about it. Reinvent them all. No, we actually have to license to watch TV, period. Because of the BBC monopoly, a bunch of liars and thieves, their day is almost nigh here. We've had enough. Interesting. North America, in Canada, we have like 3 big providers. But like some of the providers, they have like certain regions in like Northern Ontario. I think it's only 1 provider up there versus like Southern Ontario, where obviously there's more people, so there's more options. There's like 3 because you have like Cogeco, Rogers, and Bell, right? Big telecom giants though. But yeah, in the States there's more, way more. There's way more options. Reinvent a modeler. Indian almost then. I don't know what that means. No, in Indian's not right either. We use the term only because when dealing with actual treaties, when talking about the legal definitions, because it's recognized under law. So like, for example, in Canada, and I go to the States, when I go through customs, I tell them North American Indian, because that is the term that is recognized under treaty. I don't identify that way officially, as like personally, but when I'm crossing the border, that is the legal definition. And when I use that legal definition, they cannot deny me access, because I can freely move across the border because it's recognized by both countries under treaty that both sides are my home, right? So that's why. It's the legal definition. But Indian, I don't recognize Indian. Indians come from India. So there's no Indians in North America. There's no Indians other than those that emigrated over and who descend from India, right? Those are Indians. I'm not an Indian. I'm Ojibwe. Or more correctly, I'm Anishinaabe, if you're going to be absolutely correct about it. But that doesn't apply to any other people who, like, for example, who are Mohawk, the Six Nations. Those people, they speak a completely different language. They have different beliefs. We don't look the same. Nowadays, we might look similar because intermarrying and stuff like that, but yeah, no. Typically, there's a lot of physical traits that are different, and yeah, it's like no spotting the difference between people from Thailand, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean, Japanese. If you can't tell the difference between those people, then I'm afraid there's not much I can do for you. You really need to get out more and experience the world. But yeah, that's the difference. North America is like that. Ojibways do not look the same as Sioux. Do not look the same as Six Nations. We're not all the same people. We're unified under the same cause. We're unified in that form, but we're not the same people. Coma. Hello, everyone. Hello. Enforcer. Would natives still be right since your ancestors were the first ones here? Natives? Well, what's a native? When I go to England, and I'm walking around amongst all the people who are, born there, they're natives. So I'm not incorrect in stating that those are natives. If I go to France, talk to all the French people, who are born there. I refer to them as natives. Those are natives, right? So what's a native, right? I go to China, speak with all the Chinese folk, and refer to them as natives. I'm not incorrect, right? Because that's the term, natives. They're the people native to the land. So native is not correct either then, right? Again, the only term that really is apt for the generalization of the original people of this continent is First Nations. That's it, really. If you want to be correct about things and, you know, respectful and non-dismissive, then yeah, First Nations is the most apt. You know, Aboriginal, Indigenous, Native, those aren't just descriptors. Those aren't descriptors, because I can go to England and I can visit the indigenous natives of the island. Right? I would not be incorrect in stating that. When I go and visit England, I'm visiting the indigenous people, cultures of that island. The natives. I'm visiting the natives. Right? So what does it mean? What does it mean? It's just words, right? It's dismissive of the cultures, right? Because even the UK, right? There's 4 different groups of people? There's the English, Welsh, Irish, and Scottish, right? That would be if I just said, oh, they're just natives of that island. Oh, they're just white people. They're just natives. I'm being dismissive of all the culture there, right? And even then, within that little tiny space, you have English, you have Welsh, who speak apparently a different language, Irish, who speak a different language, Scottish, who speak a different language, right? You have distinctions even within that tiniest of spaces. Think about how distinct that is and how culturally significant all those cultures are, right? Those belief systems, those languages, the identities, right? In that tiny little fucking space that doesn't even fit in Ontario, which is the province in which I'm in. It doesn't, that entire landmass doesn't even fit into the current landmass that I occupy. And North America is so much bigger. Right? So, yeah. just ponder on that. Just ponder on that. It's dismissive. It's dismissive of the identities of people. And the whole reason for that dismissiveness is so that the crimes that were perpetrated, right, it excuses them. Anyway. Bobby Passmore. I don't know if you've ever mentioned why you left Mini Wargaming. Why I left? I was let go. I was let go from Mini Wargaming. That was 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. Or about 2 years ago. When the hell was that? Anyway, yeah, I was let go. Why? I don't know. To this day, I still don't know. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I've asked. Didn't get an answer. Reinvented modeler. No, I mean American Indians. Like Indians from Americans who identify as Indians who are from India? Yeah. No, again, it doesn't apply. It doesn't apply. Those are the wrong terms. Those are wrong terms. And it's not about being PC or woke or whatever. It's about being correct. I mean, if you were Irish or Welsh, English, whatever, and I just said, oh, yeah, he's European. Oh, he's just white. That's dismissive of the culture, of the identity. And it's the exact same thing on the other side. Right? What's that whole expression of shoe on other foot? Anyway. Enforcer. So wait, Kris, you're not a sovereign citizen then, right? I am a sovereign citizen of Kittigawn ZB, Garden River, of my territory. I'm a citizen of the Ojibwe Nation. Yes, I am a sovereign citizen. Old Man Logan. Even Native American would be incorrect because there was no America. Right, exactly. Mikey R. Also, the Cornish, the Cumbrians, the Manx. Is that folks in England on the island? Yeah. Well, I'm not even aware. See, again, I mean, I'm not up on everybody's cultures. I mean, you know, and identities, and yeah. Again, it would be completely dismissive, right? It's completely dismissive of those identities. Frykin. Even the Cornish speak their own language, and that's a tiny area in England. Exactly. Right? You have so much diversity in cultures on just that small little island of England, of the UK. Excuse me, I always say England, but it's the UK. Pardon, I'm still learning too. And you have so many different cultures within that tiny little space of the native people, of the white people that are there. Never mind those who emigrated there and have been there for generations. Just the people who culturally have been there for a couple centuries, right? Even just a couple centuries. Those people, those distinctions in cultures on just that tiny little space. Now imagine North America, which is about, 20, 30 times the size of England? All of the distinct cultures, right? It wasn't just little pockets of people wandering about. No, there was thousands. There were cities, big villages. We weren't cities. We didn't build cities. But, well, I mean, we get cities closer to the equator, right? There's cities there, ancient cities. So, you know, infer what you will. Fuck, I don't even know where the hell I am now. Frackin' Ditto Mikey R. Yeah. Haunted Miniatures, their loss. Yeah, exactly right. The wannabe painter, Dom. I'm out. Wife's has dinner ready. Stay healthy and keep listening to Kris. Yeah. You know what? It's 2 minutes to 3. We've done this for 3 hours. I think I should probably put an end to this too. I'm getting kind of hungry as well. I need some lunch. The Gim, there he is. It's me, the Bitter Gim. What's going on? Let's talk about how much elders suck. Heck, I have. Reinvented Mauler. No, we invaded America. America, remember? I think he meant the Manx Mancunians? Manchester? I don't know. Right, the invasion of America, though, I mean, like, typically it's, you know, attributed to Christopher Columbus, right? Typically. That's when it starts. 1492? Of course, I mean, there is evidence of, you know, Nordic folk making it over here. Was it an invasion, or was it just some people traveling the ocean who encountered the people here and then said, hey, how's it going? Oh, not bad. All right, well, we're leaving now. All right, check you later. See you in a couple 100 years. Right? I mean, you know, who knows? Enforcer. Wait, there's a different version of sovereign citizen then? Because I always knew the term for those of people who believe the laws do not apply to them at all. What? Because I always knew the term for those of people who believe the laws do not apply to them at all. No. Sovereign means by your own laws in your land. You're sovereign. You govern by yourself. So typically, for the English in the UK, the Queen is the sovereign. All authority flows through her or him, king or queen, right? Through the royal family, right? That's where the rule of law comes from. For us, we don't have kings or queens. We have chiefs, but there's many chiefs, and you know, they're not by birth, and they're not. Being a chief is not really, you know, a good thing. A chief is just a voice. It's just a figurehead. That's all they are. They can come and go, and the people determine that, right? We're democratic, but not all the way democratic like that. But yeah, and the power comes from the people. So the people, when they're all, you know, in agreement about something, we move forward with that process, right? It's by our own sovereignty that we enforce our own laws, which is what we do today. Ninny plug. I don't have a culture, or at least not a good one. I don't know about that. Everybody comes from culture. Everybody has their, good points and bad points. I mean, it's not really a good, bad thing anyway, It's really what we're doing today, really, is the big point, right? Mikey R. The UK is a state. Britain is the biggest island. The island is the second biggest in the British Isles. I'm from a small island off the southeast coast. My ancestors were Romany fishermen. Okay. The Gim. Wait. I joined the stream. You say let's end it. I see a trend here. Well, it's fucking 3, man. I start this at 12. And I tell you at the beginning of the show, it's 120 minutes, which is 2 hours, which ends at 2, right? But we were doing the GW stream, so, and that went long. That's why. Dark Commission. Big evidence in Kentucky of 6C Welsh. One of the King Arthurs took 300 ships after the comet strike ruined most of Britain, hence second wasteland in Arthurian legend. What? I don't know. You have to send me some links on that one. Reinvented Modeler. Nope. Parliament. House of Commons. Right, but where does Parliament's authority come from? Where does, in the UK, where does Parliament's power come from? It's a term called, what is it called? The Crown? Ninny plug. People who don't think laws apply to them. Well, that would be a lot of Twitter. Well, I mean, Twitter, I mean, you got a lot of bots. It's not even people. But I mean, you could be sure of that even in most internet interactions. It's probably a lot of bots, a lot of disinformation. Again, we're in the midst of a cyber war. And so there's a lot of disinformation flying about, which is just like cannons and bullets and the casualties. The casualties is our logic. That's the casualty, the collateral damage in this war of disinformation. Keoma. Your answers should have done something about the immigration problem back then in the 18th century, and there would not be a USA. Yeah, but we're not like that, man. Pretty open. And honestly, I would assume, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and assume that those who came over here, who as the legends go, were fleeing persecution, religious persecution in Europe, and they wanted to come here. And, that's the way it often gets framed and shit like that. All these other plot devices, right? But anyway, see, the big problem wasn't laws. It wasn't technology that led to the decline of our cultures, our civilizations. It was disease, a plagues. See, Europe had a lot of practice at dealing with unsanitary conditions, right? Letting plagues roam the land. Those that survived, obviously, had antibodies towards a lot of these things. And yeah, encountering these people, the disease started to spread. Populations on this side of the indigenous people started to decline, and we didn't know why. Right? I mean, we didn't know about germs until what, late 1800s, until somebody said, yeah, there's little microbes on your skin. You got to wash your hands, right? We already knew that shit because we bathed and cleaned ourselves regularly. Those from Europe had rats, and rats was another big problem. Oof. Then the rats aren't native to North America. Rats come from Europe. So, plague and disease diminished our populations. And as we were declining, we were supposed to be in trust with the crown and these other forms of government and stuff, the Americans, that whatever benefits were reaped from the resources of the land, they were supposed to share, right? It was supposed to be held in trust, right? They said, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, they saw us declining. They figured we were going to be gone anyway. And it was looking like we were going to disappear anyway. We were going to go extinct because, disease. right? There was no wars, right? There's no wars. We aren't conquered. There was no wars. I mean, there was battles and stuff like that. But there was no grand war. There was no big battles. What big battle was the conquering of Native American people? If we were one people, which we're not. We're many different cultures. So, you know. Anyway, yeah. And so these agreements were made because we figured we were on the way out anyway. Fucking dying, right? Dying left and right. But then something happened. It stopped. It stopped. Those that developed the antibodies all of a sudden started to prosper, started to bounce back. Population starts to increase. Holy shit. These people aren't dying. Well, we got to do something now. So, genocide. Start removing the people from their lands. Start killing them. Start putting them on tiny little reservations. Take away their fishing, their hunting. Right? Start sterilizing the women. Putting the kids into residential schools. Oh man, well, I imagine probably many of you didn't hear the news about this one. But yeah, there's residential school in, I want to say it was out in BC. 215 bodies of children on the grounds. 215 bodies of children at a residential school. A school that was designed supposed to be to educate the savages. It just fucking murdered the kids. Just straight up murdered kids. It was in the news yesterday or day before. This isn't ancient history, man. It ain't ancient history. So people wonder why that Native people are prickly towards the Canadian government and the American government. They wonder why. Oh, I don't know. Little thing called genocide? Fuck. Anyway, where the hell am I? Oh, man. Yeah, Frykin read about today 215 kids. Yeah. That's not an isolated case. That's not an isolated case. I bet you we could dig up all these residential schools and we'll find bodies all over the place. If we dug them all up. Yeah, I bet you we'd find a whole bunch of bodies. Never mind the bodies that's bodies that were buried. Imagine all the bodies that weren't buried and were burned, right? Anyway. Enforcer. I still don't get why we couldn't just live in peace and coexist with those who were here before us. Why couldn't we just build and help them or just leave them be? Oh, it's pretty simple. Greed. Greed. It's pretty simple. Greed will make a brother kill a brother. Will turn brother on brother for greater possession. Something that's trivial. Kill each other over. Imagine that. Imagine how vacant a soul has to be. That killing your own brother just for a trinket. Imagine how corrupt one has to be. But there we are. Anyway, if you need some help with paint scheme, maybe working on a model, maybe a commission painting service, you want to drum up some exposure, whatever it is, send your emails to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It's in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness, has links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversations rolling there 24/7. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. Also, at wayofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts. And also down below, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's links down below. Want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. If you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. Of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, these videos and this channel just would not be able to continue. And so a huge thank you to all my patrons who help make that happen. And so even those who are not patrons, you can thank the patrons because they allow this to continue. And so a huge thank you. If you're considering Patreon support, there are various tiers of support, and there's various perks associated with those tiers. So check out, and huge thank you to everybody who does consider and who are. And if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, following, ringing the bell, all that stuff, that all helps tremendously as well. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. So a huge thank you. And speaking of thank yous, big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Allfair, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for creating the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. So always much love to my baby bro Evan for being a talented motherfucker like that he is. He's just talented. He's a fucking awesome dude. Of course, he's also been hitting the weights, so like he's fucking gigantic. And he's bigger than me. And he's like, it's like the Hulk and Thor had a baby and it was my baby brother Evan. I don't know what that makes me, but nothing. It makes me nothing. It makes me, if anything, it makes me Loki. If you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. I'm talking rare, not medium rare, not well done, rare comics. He's cooking them. He's got them on the grill. He gives them 5-10 minutes on each side. Bang, done, served. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, man. The Gim. Dark, gritty history talk about greed, death, and disease. And anyway, if you need to talk about painting, watch Way of the Brush. Yeah, I know. Well, like I said, man, if you guys want to keep the topic on the rails of the subject matter at hand, I mean, whatever. But whatever. I mean, history. There's nothing wrong with history. I mean, history is history. It's history. It's not good or bad. I mean, yeah, bad things happen, good things happen. I mean, but history as the subject itself, I mean, it's important. It's important to know these things. It's important. You can't just sugarcoat them. Can't just make it easily digestible so it doesn't offend somebody's sensibilities. No, it's like the world, it's going to be ugly. Because, yeah, the world is still ugly. Still, to this day, it's very ugly. For fuck's sakes. Look what's going on in the Middle East, for fuck's sakes. Exact same fucking thing. So what we're talking about. So, I think you can kind of guess on which side of that aisle I'm on in that subject. I mean, it really shouldn't be a surprise. Should it? Reinvented Modeler. Buying a t-shirt. Thank you. Awesome. And wear it with pride. And if you buy a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt. I will add it to the Monkey Shrine. Because I want to have, I talked about this at the beginning of the show today, but I wanted to have like a whole bunch of, images and video, because I was going to take video next time we were all together, and, basically make an intro from that. I want to have that because, again, like I said, this show is all about you guys, right? It's about helping you guys, making you guys more effective, efficient painters, right? That's what it's all about, even though we didn't talk any painting today, I don't think. How did we go 3 hours and 3.25 hours and we didn't talk any painting? I don't think we talked any painting. It doesn't feel like we talked any painting. Anyway. Mikey R. I'm a sucker for history. History isn't just a visit to a stately home. No, exactly. Exactly it, man. It's exactly it. Sometimes history is ugly. And ignoring it and trying to sweep it under the rug. We didn't do that. No, you did it. And trying to sweep it under the rug is an admission of the current guilt, right? When it was something that happened 500 years ago. Why would you today feel guilty about something that your ancestors did? Why would you do that? Right? Why would you try and sweep that under the rug? Try and whitewash it, right? Why? Why would you do it? Unless, of course, you knew you benefited from those crimes. Right? So, anyway. Enforcer. Frankly, I think I've just got to go into despair mankind when I hear news from the world. Don't despair. Oh, for God's sake, no, don't despair. No, that it's unnecessary. And the idea that one person cannot make changes, that's a falsehood. That's false. The system would want you to think that way, that one person can't make a difference. One person can make a difference. One person exercising their rights, their voice, can make a world of difference. It's like that telephone game. Why not the telephone game? What's that game called? Fuck. The one where one person tells two friends, those two friends tell two friends, those two friends tell two friends. You know what I mean? And it expands exponentially. An avalanche starts with a single snowflake, right? Same kind of thing. One person can make a difference. So do not despair in all the shit that's going on. Well, yes, one man is not going to change the entire world. But how you can affect positive change is in your own community. The person living next to you, above you, beside you, below you, whatever it is, whatever your living situation is. Help that person next to you and encourage that person to help the person next to them. And then everybody around you is helping each other, looking out for each other, providing for each other, got each other's backs, right? Then all of a sudden it's the whole street. Then it's the whole county. Then it's the state. Then it's the country. Then it's the world. And hopefully we can get to that point, right? That's the point, is everybody takes their own individual responsibility to look out for the person next to them. And that's all it is. That's all it is. Right? Anyway. Old Man Logan, words to live by. That's it. All it is, man. Just take care of your neighbor. Just take care of your neighbor. Just look out for your neighbor. You can just start. I mean, even if you're not friendly with them, you can still have their back. I mean, there's some that are complete schmucks. I mean, I live close to some that are kind of not people I would hang around with. Some of them I'm pretty sure blatantly racist. But you know what? If the cops came and said, yeah, did you see anything in this person? I would try and help. I would try and help them, despite them being a racist or an asshole, whatever. I would try and help them. Even though that probably they would probably call the cops on me for something stupid. I still would try to help them. Just because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And I do. I firmly believe that one person can make a difference. Of course, the negative I take with that one, because again, I do flip-flop. I play devil's advocate against myself a lot of times. The negative side of that kind of idea is that one person can make a difference. One person can make a whole lot of difference if they're armed. That's the negative side of that. Because typically, going towards a violent solution for something is a last resort. And if that's the first response to a problem is to use violence, then you're not giving it enough thought. But anyway. All right. Reinvented modeler. I don't want to appear despondent, but trouble is lying ahead. A tiger's mouth, as Churchill once said. Yeah. Churchill, I mean, he's a mixed bag as well. When you start digging into the history of that fella, right? There's pluses and minuses. For everybody in the UK, I'm sure everybody really focuses on the positives that the man was about. But there was some negatives, some big negatives there as well. Reinvented modeler. Yeah, good man, Kris. A man after my own heart. Yeah. But I mean, hey, he was the man when that fucking island was catching firebombs and yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what that would be like. I'm sure there's many people, that, just living through, you know, getting bombed every fucking day, you know. I mean, imagine people right now in the Middle East getting fucking bombed who had nothing to do with fuck all, you know. But anyway, I digress. All right, let's get the hell out of here. How do we usually end this show? Isn't there a saying? Oh, right. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys later. Next week? Yeah, maybe next week. I don't know. The weather's getting nice. And Kris starts to get a little itchy. Wants to do some traveling. Oh, and Kris. Did I hear a sound? Oh, Kris, I got double dosed. I got double dosed. Word. So I'm vaccinated, bitches. Word, bitches. Word to your mother.